Hi, I'm Christian Pedersen, General Manager for Microsoft Dynamics AX. Thank you for joining me for the second exciting installment of our Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3 Blitz. Time and tide waits for no man, a quote many of us have heard by Geoffrey Chaucer. In the high-tech industry, we often talk about the future starts today. A couple of weeks ago at the technical conference, we showcased how we have delivered on the vision we established 10 years ago. I had the opportunity then to work with Hal Howard, Mike Ehrenberg, Dave Colum, and several others, including one person you've heard a lot about lately, our new CEO, Satya Nadella. Today we have delivered the unique business logic and the data model that we believe will last for at least 10 years. With Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3, we are providing our customers with the latest tool for the next big wave of ERP, and we are paving the way for them to the big things we have coming in the near future. Companies across the globe are eager to deploy this release. There are many compelling reasons to partner with us and march together into this bright future. Last month we shared a sneak preview of some of the new capabilities coming up in Dynamics AX 2012 R3. Today I am delighted to present a deeper dive into the offerings in R3, including a whole slate of brand new demos across manufacturing, service industries, public sector and retail. We are going to show you our great new Azure-based demo platform, and we will further elaborate on the pricing and licensing adjustments we already shared in Blitz 1. I'm particularly excited today because we have a partner joining us later in the broadcast, and they will share insights into how they plan to leverage the launch of Dynamics AX 2012 R3 to drive new business and to help their customers deliver amazing customer experience. It's going to be great speaking with them. As you watch our show today, make sure you take full advantage of the interactive opportunities. Many of the presenters you see on screen will be standing by to take your questions in the chat window. We also want to know how the presentation content is landing with you. So please vote early, vote often in the polls you will see posted throughout the event. Finally, don't forget that if you miss any of the content from today's event, you can return within 60 days and view the entire event from the same lobby you logged into today. You can also catch up on part 1 of our R3 Blitz if you missed that the first time around. So now that you know what you've signed up for, let's get started. Our first session looks at a day in the life of key roles we target with Microsoft Dynamics 2012 R3, including CFOs, CIOs, HR, and supply chain executives. Pepijn Richter, Dan Schuster, Winston Hait, Yvonne Haarloev from our AX Product Marketing Group will show you R3 through the lens of these roles. Take it away, team.
Thank you, Christian. My name is Pepijn Richter. I'm a Product Marketing Director for Microsoft Dynamics AX.
And hi, my name is Winston Hait. I'm the Senior Product Marketing Manager for Dynamics AX.
Before we dive into the industry-specific enhancements in Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3, we would like to cover these new features that are applicable for all organizations. The way we do that is through the lens of key executives. We will start with the CIO. Winston and myself will cover that. Yvonne Haarloev will demonstrate the value for the CFO. Then Schuster will present HR executive. And I will close the session with the value proposition for the VP of Supply Chain. We will get Stephen Hoglum in to give you more details on the Azure-based demo platform that we demonstrated to you in Blitz number 1.
Sounds great. Let's get started with the CIO.
Let's start first with a brief disclaimer. You've seen this from us before, but I want to make sure that you understand that everything you see in today's session is pre-release code and is subject to change. So within Microsoft, we believe that we can help the CIO with these 3 themes. So first of all, being able to enable business transformation. And we see that already in a couple of areas. For instance, the omni-channel strategy, transforming the retail organizations from being brick-and-mortar stores to multiple channels, including e-commerce. Then secondly, it's about being able to quickly realize business value. So no more 5-year long risky implementations, but really short sprints, sometimes 90-day sprints, and being able to implement the business application and helping the business. And then the last one is actually rationalize on IT investment, making sure that you harmonize all these different applications under one and lower the investments that IT needs to be able to shift resources from keeping lights on activities to enabling the business to transform and grow. We would like to start with a conceptual overview of Microsoft Dynamics AX. And let me clear this slide first. So the big box in the middle is the business logic, our data model in Dynamics AX. Surrounding that data model, we are using all kinds of Microsoft technology. So starting with the one on top, which are the user interfaces. And we offer a couple. You've seen us releasing mobile apps. We enable you to use Word or Excel to directly interact with the business logic. And then we have a data tier, which comprises of, for instance, a database or our BI engine, all based on SQL. And then, of course, we have the Microsoft operating system that provides the infrastructure for this solution. To the right, we have a set of tools that can be used to optimize the system or to change the system to specific customer situations.
Well, that sounds great, Pepijn, but I noticed some of these are in green. What's that calling out?
Yeah, that's a good question. These pieces were some pieces that we were missing in the past. And now with R3, we're actually filling these pieces in this little puzzle.
Oh, completing the picture, okay.
Yes. So what you've seen us do in June of last year is actually releasing lifecycle services. So in today's session, we will actually show you a couple of more services that we will release around the R3 timeframe for lifecycle services. Master Data Management is one of the new modules that we will release in R3. Mm-hmm. And we have announced the certification of Microsoft Dynamics AX on Windows Azure as an infrastructure as a service scenario. This is the project manager's workspace that you've seen in Blitz number 1, and I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. Mm-hmm. Feedback from you and from customers has been that Lifecycle Services provides a tool set, but we also provide an implementation methodology being Schuster. Mm-hmm. How are these two connected? In this release, we are actually enabling an integration between the two. So whenever you start a new project from the project manager's workspace, you will see that there is an ability to select a project methodology in here. Again, you see the methodologies that are available in Schuster step that you can select from this workspace. And you can start with the implementation project using the methodology, and we will integrate SureStep checklists and steps into the lifecycle services. So this is one of the few initiatives that we have in mind for lifecycle services in R3. Now let's quickly transition to another service, Business Process Modeler. For the business analyst, we are making some really valuable enhancements in the Business Process Modeler in lifecycle services. During Blitz number 1, I already showed the Business Process Modeler that you see here. If you take a look at the business process library that we have, you can see here on the right-hand side the number of processes that we enable out of the box. Over the last weeks, we have added more descriptions to this library, and in the coming months, we will continue to add business processes to this library. So this is the first enhancements that you can expect from us. The second one is here on the business process description level. One of the options that is available is the list with gaps that are identified after doing a gap fit analysis using the business process modeler. That gap now is a list with requirements here on the screen, but in the new version what you will see is that you can export that list to TFS, making the list with requirements available in the environment that developers use. And they can start working on these directly from within TFS. So these are the two major enhancements that we plan for the business process modeler around the R3 timeframe. Let's take a look at the IT admin.
Okay, Pepijn, so we've taken a look at some of the new enhancements that we have that we're using for project managers and for business analysts. But what do we have in mind, or what have we put in this for IT administrators?
Actually, quite a lot. And I'm really excited about these enhancements. So the first one is master data management. New in Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3. The team is extending master data services in SQL. And we are enabling an integration between static master data entities between instances in Dynamics AX. So if a customer wants to implement multiple instances, for instance one in the US and one in Germany, they can integrate and manage the master data for specific entities. And out of the box we support the most popular entities: customer, vendor, item, employee, and global address book. Okay. This framework supports Dynamics AX to Dynamics AX integrations, but it is extendable to other integrations.
Okay, great. Now, can you give me an example? You talked about the U.S. and the German subsidiaries. How would master data management work with those? Can you give me how it would go through that?
So assume this organization is onboarding a new vendor in Germany, but the U.S. subsidiary also deals with that same vendor. You can then onboard that vendor in the German subsidiary. You can sync the data entity and the data about this vendor, and then the US subsidiary can automatically use the data. In the future, any changes done to the data can actually be synced and used by the two subsidiaries.
The first one we've got here is system diagnostics, and this is one that I'm really excited about because I'm not sure everyone's fully aware of all the capabilities that are in there. And I know they're constantly building out more with Lifecycle Services being an Azure-based system. There's being in the cloud, they can consistently be adding features, functionality, whatever that they want to it. And so I know that that's actually going in 1 month sprints right now.
So just to be clear, system diagnostics is available today.
Yes.
But we are releasing new rules as part of the tool, the service, on a monthly basis.
Exactly, and that's a great lead-in. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. This is the dashboard. I'm sure you all are used to seeing this by now. And hopefully you've all had a chance to get in and log into LCS. Remember, you just go to lcs.dynamics.com. And when you get in there, we encourage you to go in, learn the product, get used to the product. Customers are asking for it. We know they're going to be asking you questions about it, so it's great to be prepared. But we wanted to go into a little bit more detail about some of the extensive capabilities that are in there that you may not have found yet. So we want to kind of highlight those for you. This is the standard dashboard view that you've seen. Down here at the bottom in the green box are all of the messages that will appear as the data has been run against the rules. So what we wanted to do is show you, if you click on those, what it's going to do is take you into a lower level, deeper dive on that. And what you're going to see at the top here is all the recent statuses, and then on the bottom is where you start getting into a little more detail. The rule details, exactly what is the rule that's being run against the data that's captured. And then also over here on the right, and I've actually got a little piece here that kind of zooms in, not only do we have the observation and recommendations, but we also have context-sensitive help that's actually allowing you to link to whatever the information is that you would need to be able to take care of and try to resolve this issue. And I think that's a real fundamental piece that it's talking about here, and that is we're trying to, with LCS, deliver the right information to at the right time to the right people. And this is, I think, one of the ways that we really do a great job of that. Now, one of the other things that we've got, this second rule that's up here, is talking about tables that you actually could cache. Again, you would want to do this to try to help increase the throughput, give a better user experience, keep users happy. Not only does the rule highlight that there are some tables that you want to do this with, you'll see here down on the bottom on the left, it actually will give you a list of those tables that it's found as a recommendation for you to take a look at and say maybe you do want to cache those. So I think that's a nice feature that actually is giving you the details for it. Now, all I've done is just exploded up here and zoomed in on just kind of the basic list of all the rules, just to kind of give you a breakdown. The left-hand side here, you'll see the round circles, the red circles. Those are the ones that are the high level of errors. Then you have the ones that are the yellow triangles. Those are just the cautions. But it gives you a way to prioritize what's there. We also show you what the instance is and what the host instance is. This way you know where to go, to what piece of equipment or what VM that you need to go to then be able to resolve the issue. So on this screen, what I wanted to do is kind of call out how system diagnostics actually is useful for all areas of the organization. So in the first one here, you can see that these top three are actually looking at the health of your database, what you can do to keep it up and running. The middle one here is actually looking at something for in terms of fixed asset posting profile that something's wrong. So it's actually calling that out, which is going to make the CFO happy, because then it's something they can take care of now instead of waiting until they have to run reports at the end of the month or maybe at the end of the year. And then even down here at the bottom, we're actually talking about a couple of things, number sequences, and then talking about that it's recognized that you don't have everything set up correctly for a disaster recovery scenario. So that was the part about the system diagnostics. But this area for Azure, this is the area that I'm really excited about.
So what is it?
Actually, what it is it's a portal that's within Lifecycle Services that's going to allow you to deploy either the full R3 instance itself in Azure, because remember, on May 1st, R3 will be fully certified to run on Azure. But it also is a way for you to also deploy a demo environment or a dev test environment. So again, in terms of the CIO as an organization, they may have dev tests say, we need to have, or development, say that we need to have a dev test environment. They can go in, deploy out a dev test environment in a matter of hours, and they can be able to scale that up as high as they need to. So if they need to do some pretty heavy load testing, it's a way to leverage the elasticity of Azure, of the cloud, and to be able to give what you need when you need it, but then be able to spin it down when you're not and you don't have to pay for it.
Great. So we're helping with the configuration and the setup of it. What scenarios are we planning to support?
Well, that's a great lead-in. Glad you asked that. The first three that we're going to support are going to be demo, development and test, and then production. You'll actually see on here we have the disaster recovery site with a little green saying coming soon. That's there because, as we mentioned before, this is all cloud-based. So the beauty of the cloud is we don't have to wait for major revisions to bring out and introduce new features. We actually can introduce them as they become available. So this list will grow over time. And I should also mention that this portal is going to be available not at GA, probably around the June timeframe, because I know they're working, and you'll understand in a little bit why it's going to take a little longer, because there's some pretty amazing stuff that they're doing here to make it as easy as possible for you to be able to deploy on Azure. So in this instance, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a production environment. And what this has is it's got 12 different VMs. And now again, all of these, the demo was one VM, or what they call one box. The dev test was 5 box, and this is 12 box. All it is we've kind of tried to come up with some base configurations that say, look, if you're going to deploy R3 in Azure, you're going to probably need 12 VMs to do it. Now, the advantage to this portal, and which I think is kind of slick, is that not only do we give you the base configurations, but you can customize it. So in this sense, in this case, if you wanted to do add an enterprise portal for extranet, you can go ahead and select that, and you'll see it appears at the bottom of the list. Now, if you also wanted to change your AOS batch servers and increase that because you're going to have a lot of heavy usage, you can do that as well. Once you get the configuration the way you want, you're going to go ahead and deploy it. Now, we will double check, ask you a couple of times if you really want to do this, because once you start deploying, the meter starts running. So we want to make sure you want to do that. So in this case, it's deploying. Once it's fully deployed, you'll tell you that you can connect then. You'll click on that. You'll RDP into it.
So at the beginning of the presentation, you mentioned we will cover 4 roles.
Right.
I don't think we covered the developer just yet. What is your favorite enhancements in R3 for the developer?
By far, my favorite enhancement is the compiler updates. They've now introduced parallel processing into it. So in terms of what would normally be maybe a 2.5, 3 hour compile, that compile can now get done in about 15 to 20 minutes.
Oh, that will save them a lot of time.
So 80, 90% reduction, and save them a lot of time, give them a chance to do more development cycles in the same amount of time. So better quality code, a better user experience. It's all great. I'm super excited about that. It's going to be great.
So all in all, going back to the value proposition of the CIO, this helps a CIO really drive and lead the business forward.
Mm-hmm. He can be that agent of change in the organization.
Yes,
Great.
they sure can. Supply chains are getting more complex, more global. Customers are looking for the perfect order penetration point to deliver goods that customers need, moving away from push-based to pull-based supply chains. If you look at the IT reality in supply chains, the image that you see here on the right-hand side of the screen is the situation that we often see with our customers. So siloed supply chains supported by multiple ERP systems and often even multiple warehouse management systems that are often poorly connected. On top of that, there are hardly any transportation management systems applied. Mostly, transportation management is handled Excel-based. So with R3 and the integrated WMS and TMS systems, we provide a much better experience to our customers' customers to deliver that amazing customer experience. So a couple of things that we enable these organizations to do. And the first one is to provide customers with delivery options. So if you have a better grip on the supply chain, and with the integrated capabilities and the new concepts in Dynamics AX, customers are not only able to change orders with a few clicks within one system, or change the delivery concepts within a system without programming. And with this release, they are able to do that. With real-time visibility into inventory across your organization and the new transportation capabilities, organizations can lower costs of both inventory as well as transportation and translate these costs in lower prices to their customers. And then thirdly, again, the integrated system and full visibility in inventory provides organizations the ability to keep customers informed. There are a few concepts that are new, and I go from top to bottom. So in the supporting capabilities, I would like to call out the RF support. So for all material handling within the walls of the warehouse, we do an RF support on browser-based equipment. So that's the first one. If you look at the primary process, inbound, outbound transportation, what you will see is that we will provide appointment scheduling for incoming and outgoing trucks. Of course, advanced shipping notices. And then I think the most important one is the flexible way to do put-away strategies. We will go back, or we will showcase that in the demo. Also for replenishments and picking, we have a very flexible engine to determine the picking rules. From an inventory perspective, I would say the license plate concept is probably the biggest change over the pallet ID that you recognize from WMS1 and WMS2. And that license plate enables you to track good flows within the warehouse on an even lower level than pallets. So you could have partial shipments on a single pallet that you want to track with the license plate concept. So these are a few of the key concepts that have been changed in warehouse and transportation management. Let's take a quick look at the demo to show a few of these concepts in the demo. Because of time, I'm going to just show you two key things, and I would like to point to on-demand training sessions that we have available for warehousing for further details. What you can see here in Dynamics AX is that we have included two new modules, warehouse management and transportation management. I currently have the warehouse management module open, and as you can see, it's a brand new module using the same concepts and layout that you're used to in Dynamics AX. What I would like to demonstrate in this small demo is actually the sales process and how the picking order is created. To do that, I want to show you one of the key concepts that is being introduced in R3. One of the templates, one of the concepts here is work templates. A work template basically directs the work that needs to be done. As you can see up here, I've chosen for all the work generated as a result of sales orders. So basically all the picking work that needs to be done. This is a split screen. Up here, what you can see is the various work templates that the system provides for picking orders. So here it is where you can determine the picking strategies that you would like to apply. The powerful thing that's used throughout the module, and the reason I wanted to show one of these key concepts here, is that they actually apply to other concepts like location directives as well, is the added query that's possible. So with the added query, you can actually add attributes to this work templates to determine for what sales orders, products, customers, these picking strategies are relevant to. So in this case, you can see that these are relevant, and the filter that has been used here is warehouse 24, and all orders except for the orders that come in through e-commerce. Below here, you can actually see the work instructions that come with this work template. In this case, it's a very simple one. First, you pick up the goods, and then you put the goods at the bay door area. But you can see this is a very simple workflow template. You can actually add steps to this when needed. So for instance, if you have small repackaging work in the warehouse, value added services, you can actually simply add 2 lines to it where the picker first picks it, puts it at the small assembly area, and after the assembly is done, picks it up and then puts it to the pay door. So again, you can change the business processes quickly without doing any code to these work templates. So with that, let's take a look at a sales order. I'm going back to accounts receivable, to sales orders, and I will create a new sales order. I will pick one of my customers down here, Sunflower Wholesales. What I will do manually, just to point it out, I will select a site with an active warehouse, which is 24, where the warehouse management capabilities are enabled for. And I will select the HDMI cables in this one. I will order 10 of these. Let me quickly do the reservation. So reserve all 10 pieces. In this release, we introduce a new reservation hierarchy, so you can actually determine on what inventory dimension level you would like to do the reservations on. There's more on that in the detailed courses. So what I can do now, after creating the sales order, I can go to the Warehouse Management tab, Again, this is completely integrated in the solution, and I can actually release to warehouse. So I have released this sales order to the warehouse, and you can see that it actually created a wave for the shipment, and the work items have been created. So let's now close this screen and go to the warehouse management. And let's take a look at the work. So I open the form for all works, and I can now see that my sales order is actually resulted in a picking order here. So it was my sales order 755 for sunflower wholesales. And here in the bottom I can see the picking instructions. So this is a quick demo of the warehouse management capabilities as part of the planned R3 release. Let me just recap what you have seen in this section. So first of all, IT reality today. It's a landscape of a lot of legacy applications that you can now replace with a single system. So your opportunity in that is you have a better value proposition in manufacturing, distribution and retail for a mid-sized and enterprise organization, and you can increase your share of wallet in that implementation with these customers. During this session we showed what is new in R3. I want to stress that we have several sessions on demand that go into details for both warehousing as well as transportation. With that, I would like to thank you for your attention today.
Hello, my name is Yvonne Haarloev. I'm a Senior Product Marketing Manager for Microsoft Dynamics AX. Today I would like to review with you some of the capabilities in Microsoft Dynamics AX that provide value to a Chief Financial Officer. Let's start by taking a look what's top of mind of a CFO and today's strategic role in finance, and how technology can help achieve business goals. Then we will dive into some key product features of Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3 that can help achieve these business goals. Today, being a finance executive means being a great strategist, risk manager, problem solver, and analyst. CEOs expect their finance leaders to offer valuable analysis and insight to help them run the business, solve problems, and decide what direction to go in. Finance executives are being recognized for their unique big picture perspective on business initiatives. More and more finance executives are helping to develop corporate strategy and then funding and executing that strategy through financial planning and performance management. As finance is developing strategy and guiding key business initiatives, implementing flexible integrated technology solutions that provide easy, highly secure access to relevant information is critical to achieve business goals. Microsoft can help organizations harness technology to better enable decision-makings through real-time insight and analysis on up-to-date financial and operational performance with interactive data exploration, visualization, and presentation experiences without the help of IT. And by combining the power of Microsoft Dynamics AX with Microsoft Excel to help master a complex budgeting process from budget creation to approval with full visibility into the process across the organization. Another key priority for CFOs is business transformation while managing risk by enabling the organization to adapt to changing market conditions. For example, expanding the business into new markets or into new business areas without the need to change the underlying technology. Companies can drive growth and mitigate risk by adopting business processes and policies across the organization. Last but not least, a key priority is to drive business impact by increasing productivity and user adoption with anywhere, anytime access and with engaging experiences. Help accelerate innovation through information sharing and collaboration. Let's take a look at a day in the life of a CFO. It might be early in the morning. The CFO is just getting a cup of coffee, reading the news and getting an update on the performance of the business in preparation of a business review. Right on his mobile device, he can open Microsoft Dynamics Business Analyzer, which gives him an overview of the most important KPIs and business performances. What we see here is the main screen that gives me a view of the most important charts and KPIs. And I can move over and view more charts and KPIs all the way to financial statements. So this gives me a real good overview of how the company is performing for all the companies that are important to me. This is a role-specific view, and I can personalize that. For example, the CFO is preparing for a business review, and they're really concerned about declining gross profit. So he moves the chart right in his main view. Here we can see that it really looks like gross profit is declining, and he drills down into the details. Here we can drill down into different business units, like home electronics. And by looking at that view, it really seems that this is the business unit that's in trouble. Let's take a look at it in a monthly view. And here we clearly get the picture. Gross sales and profit margins are declining. In preparation of the review, he really wants to get the answers from the responsible person, and he starts a link conversation right from Business Analyzer. Charlie's online, so I'm going to ask him what's going on. So Charlie, can you explain the drop in sales? And he promises that he will look into this prior to the meeting. As you can see, I can start a conversation here while I can still navigate through my business performance KPIs. Looks like it's getting late, so our CFO better goes to the office so he's not late for the board meeting. The CFO has arrived in the office. He has completed the preparation for the business review. Now in the boardroom, he presents the exact same business data as he has seen in the morning on his mobile device. He can interact with the information in the same manner and drill down into the details of the business review, which we discussed earlier are the issues around gross profit. This makes sure that both the information in the boardroom and the information that's shared on mobile devices is the exact same. This makes sure that everybody's on the same page and has up-to-date information about the business performance. The data that we're seeing here comes from Microsoft Dynamics AX. But companies can get even more value by combining data from the ERP solution with third-party data or big data. Let's see how. Microsoft Dynamics AX allows us to expose any data as an OData feed. And a data analyst can then take that information and combine it in an Excel spreadsheet with Power Query. Data can then be made available to any user who can search for the information by simply performing a search and the Power Query tab. In this example, the data analyst has combined data that's coming from Microsoft Dynamics AX and data that's coming from the internet. As you can see here, the data analyst did a search on US demographics information. This information helps organizations to make better decisions on where, for example, to launch a marketing campaign. But the way the information is presented in that spreadsheet doesn't really help us make better business decisions. We need to animate it. We need to be able to tell a story. So let's take a look at how we can do that. So we use Power Map in order to animate the data and see how information change over time to help us make better business decisions. So let's take the tour. Power Map allows us to visualize information on a map. For example, here I'm seeing the demographics information like median income and population. And what I can do then, I can overlay the information with sales data coming from Dynamics AX and correlate on how this changes over time. This really helps us make better business decisions by combining data that's coming from Dynamics AX and big data information, for example, demographics information from the internet. This demonstration showed how Microsoft Dynamics Business Analyzer and Power BI can help accelerate the business with actionable and engaging business insights, whether in the office or on the go. Now let's review the budget planning and consolidation capabilities. Most users are still using Microsoft Excel to manage the budgeting process. Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 supports the creation of budget plans in Microsoft Excel and then uses workflow in Microsoft Dynamics AX to manage the entire budgeting process from creation to revision and approvals. To help simplify the creation of the budget in Excel, a wizard has been introduced that helps create the Excel budgeting template with just a few clicks. You can easily decide which fields to include in the template and then link it to the budget planning process. Another enhancement includes the ability to use ledger allocation rules when creating the budget. Forecasting of positions has also been made easier with the introduction of date effectivity for budgeted cost, which means that you can plan for a salary increase in the middle of the year. You can also create forecast positions per budget plan, which means that Department A requests a clerk with 80,000 annual salary. Global organization can have complex consolidation scenarios. Often legal entities that need to be consolidated have different chart of accounts and fiscal periods. The consolidation process in Management Reporter, which is now part of Microsoft Dynamics AX installation, supports these scenarios without the need for an elimination company. While the process of consolidating companies was previously supported, currency translation is available now and reports can be viewed in any currency. To provide easy access to transaction details, the drill back from the web viewer has been enabled, making it easier to understand the aggregated numbers. With that, let's take a look at what we've talked about. We started by looking at today's strategic role of finance and how technology can help achieve business goals. We demonstrated how business decision makers can make better decisions and reviewed enhancements related to budgeting and consolidation. Besides the topics covered in the presentation, there are other challenges that keeps the CFO busy during the day, or should I rather say up at night? For example, how can IT be used to improve certain business processes, such as pricing? How can IT be used to enable automation and reduce manual processes and drive user adoption? How can this be achieved at a lower cost? And finally, is there a disaster plan in place to ensure business continuation? These are important questions that a CFO asks the CIO, and you will hear more about these topics in the CIO section of this recording. Thanks for watching.
Hi, I'm Dan Schuster, Senior Product Marketing Manager for Microsoft Dynamics AX Human Resources and Payroll. I'm very excited today to talk to you about some of the great new HR and payroll features available in Microsoft Dynamics AX R3. Today I'm going to spend a little time putting ourselves in the shoes of an HR professional, talking about some of their biggest pain points and how we are in a great position to help improve their lives. I'm then going to give an overview of the new HR and payroll capabilities available in R3. I'm going to give a couple of brief demos and then leave you with some calls to action. A challenge HR professionals have experienced over the years is a love-hate relationship with the technology and tools that are meant to make life easier. as we've all experienced, they can also add unnecessary complexity. For example, having to deal with multiple systems to solve a simple task. This is a pain that can be particularly difficult in HR. When there are multiple places where HR data is stored, it makes it next to impossible to analyze even basic information, such as employee headcount, employee turnover, years of experience, and where and why are employees leaving the organization. So let's talk briefly about the latest and greatest capabilities in Microsoft Dynamics AX HR and payroll. And then I will show you a demo of just a couple of these new capabilities. One of the features I'm most excited about is our new HR and payroll analysis cubes. With the latest release, you can now use tools like Microsoft Excel, SQL Server, analysis services, Power View, or others to create custom reports based on the data in the HR and payroll analysis cubes. Position budgeting provides budgeting across human resource positions and gives control back to the budget managers with streamlined integration into budget planning and finance. Streamline U.S. regulatory reporting with new preparation reports including EEO4, EEO5, VETS 100, 940, 941, unemployment, OSHA 300, OSHA 300A, OSHA 301, and the new hiring report. It's also easier now to make benefit updates with mass benefit expiration and mass benefits updates for benefit enrollments. You can simplify U.S. tax setup with mass updates of employee taxes. And you can gain more control over hires, terminations, and transfers and promotions by using employee-based personnel actions and workflow. So let's just take a moment to show a couple of demos that show how we can control costs and enable better decision-making with Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3. I'm first going to show you a little bit about the position budgeting and some of the functionality there. I'm going to show how to set up and maintain compensation, benefits, taxes, or other position-related budget cost elements. I'm going to show how the date ranges can be put into place to implement cost changes within a budget cycle and maintain a historical record. And then I'm going to show you a quick demo of our HR and payroll analysis cubes. I'm going to show how you can design your own report, save it to a library, which can be later added to a role center. And then we'll also show an actual report on a role center just to give you a view of data in a chart and a graph and how to use that to answer important questions to enable better decision making. Okay, so let's first show you the position, or at least some of the position forecasting capabilities. So I've been informed that the cost of the organization's employee insurance costs will increase from $9,000 to $10,000. And this needs to go into effect on 3/1 of 2015. So I'll need to update all the forecast positions that I have that have this benefit. To do this, I essentially go into the budget cost elements, which show all the different budget cost elements, whether it be pay, insurance, federal taxes, and so on. And I can make changes right here. So I'll go ahead and select the insurance. And the first thing I'll have to do is actually change the expiration date, because the expiration date is already, will overlap if I keep it the way it is. So I need to put this as 2/28, so that this one will actually end on 2/28. I'll say OK to that. And it will actually have updated 22 positions, as you can see, automatically. And then all I need to do is go ahead and add this new one for the city of Maple. I'll put the 3/1/2015 date in there. The expiration date I will actually say will be never. And the account is actually the same, 62,100. And then I'll change the amount. Of course it was 9,000, and now I'm going to make it 10,000. And it's as simple as that. And then all I have to do is update positions, and it goes, and I can pick the positions that I want to update. In this case, I'll go ahead and just say all positions and add them. Select update, and it automatically makes the necessary changes across all the applicable positions with that insurance benefit. So the forecast position setup elements can be used to provide the basis for creating forecast positions. Now budget preparers who might be operations managers, for example, with very little knowledge of position-related costs, can use the building blocks I just showed to accurately forecast their budget. So now let's take a look at our HR and payroll cube analysis cubes. What you're looking at here is basically the Power View reports, which of course includes now our Human Resources cube, as well as our Payroll cube. You can also see a few reports that we've already kind of created, employee turnover and worker analysis reports. I'll show you the worker analysis report in just a bit. But I first wanted to show you how easy it is to build reports now with Power View and our HR and Payroll cubes. So what we have here is, I can basically create reports against anything, applications, employees, and so on. What I'm going to do is just show you a very basic report first. So we're going to look at, there's the employee turnover measure, and I'm going to pick number of active workers, and it's going to add that to the report. And I can slice and dice this by, department, company, whatever I want. In this case, I'm going to just pick company, just for simplicity. But of course, I can make this as complex as I want. I can filter this and so on. It gives me, a basic report, Excel-like looking report. But I can click and push this into a graph very easily, and it goes ahead and shows me a great look of all my employees, employee headcount per company. And you can do this. It's that simple. It's really, there's all these different components in here. You can slice and dice by different things, and you can pull the different dimensions out, and it's really super powerful stuff. And just to give you an example, actually before I do that, one thing we can do is we can save this, of course, and what happens is, and I talked about this, is saving to a library. You can save it to a library, and basically it's available in that list that I showed you in the previous screen, but then also you can add it to a role center. And so that's what I'm going to show you next, is the Human Resources Manager Role Center, where earlier I had created a report. It's a lot more complex than the one I just showed you in the 20, 30 seconds I did to pull that employee headcount report. This one's actually, it has also kind of an employee headcount. I filtered it down by just 3 companies in this case. It also has just kind of worker hire reports, so I can actually look and see every year how many employees were hired in an organization for each of the 3 companies I'm filtering on. I can also get a years of service analysis below for these 3 companies. What's even better is that I can drill into this. So I have the capability to go ahead and select one of these things. It's going to drill in, and I can even see by quarter for that particular year what the hiring looked like. I can even drill down further and get to the month, even down to the day if I want. And same thing with the employees' years of service. I can see, basically who worked 6 to 10 years, who worked, 0 to 5 in this particular company or in these 3 companies. I can drill into this and get even further detail in terms of the even by department if I want. So that's just a quick look at the new capabilities that we have available now that we have a Human Resources and Payroll Analysis Cube. And so I'm super excited about all of that, and I hope you are too. And that's the end of the demos for you. Today we talked about and put ourselves in the shoes of a human resources professional. And we talked about how technology today is really not helping them out. They have many disparate systems out there. And Microsoft Dynamics AX HR with a unified HR solution integrated with finance and other parts of the ERP suite can really benefit HR professionals. And of course, we talked about and showed some of the new capabilities in Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3. Of course, we really just scratched the surface today. I really invite you to learn more. Go out on PartnerSource if you're a partner and search HCM, and you'll find much more detailed information on our HR and payroll suites and the new functionality that will be available in AX 2012 R3. If you're out in the field, check out Infopedia. I have a link at the very bottom to a specific site that's around the HR professional on Infopedia. And I also have a blog, a link to a blog that I invite you to check out. Thank you for taking the time to learn about the new capabilities added in our HR and payroll solution. Delivering amazing customer experiences starts with employees. And so managing those human resources is critical to any organization's success. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Stephen Hoagland. I'm a Director of Product Marketing for Dynamics AX. In the last Blitz, we covered a new demo portal that engendered lots of questions, and so we thought we'd go into a deeper dive of what we're planning on providing here to you and your partners for the Dynamics 2012 AX 2012 R3 launch. Microsoft Go for Dynamics AX was conceived of last summer as we started to think about how we were going to make demoing Dynamics AX easier, more readily available, and more powerful. And when Dynamics AX and Azure are put together, we can accomplish that goal. And so we created this portal primarily for two purposes. One, for easy access to the demos that will be in the catalog, and two, for you to be able to avoid having to lug around 10 pounds worth of PCs or having to set up servers or to spend a lot of time getting ready to demo as opposed to just simply showing the product to your prospects and your sales opportunities. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and dive into what we're looking at here. This is actually the logon screen that you're going to come to when you actually click on that URL at this point in time and in the future. And as you can see in the sign-in page, there are actually two areas that one can choose. For Microsoft employees or VDash employees, using the Microsoft credentials with ADFS will be the preferred way to enter the portal. If you're a partner or a customer with a live ID, though, you can use the Microsoft account entry point. In either case, this will get you into the portal, and the portal will now be able to identify who you are and what demos that you've actually already provisioned and the status of those demos. Once you're in the portal, you'll be on this home screen. And this has actually changed a little bit, and it will continue to change as we go through the beta. But for the most part, it's still fairly similar. And what you're going to do when you get here is have to actually register your Azure account. If you click on anything else, it'll actually bring you right to the same page, because before you can do anything here, you actually will have to have a subscription ID. This is the actual page you'll be brought to unless you've already indicated a subscription ID from a previous use. In this page, you can see there's a text box where you can paste in your actual credentials. And once you've done that, you can actually then take the next two steps, which are a one-time only provisioning that allows you to bring down a management certificate to your local PC and then upload that management certificate into your subscription. The reason for that is so that the portal has capabilities and write access to provision things into your subscription. So now that I've pasted the subscription ID into that text box and I've updated it, I can now go to the catalog. And in this catalog, you're going to see several additional items listed here as time goes on. Right now, the current available demo facility is listed here as AX 2012 CU7. The next one will actually add Dynamics AX R3 2012 CU6 for those that are on the Microsoft Online Demo System, or MODS as we've called it, which has been a third-party hosted demo facility. And that'll allow you to actually back up and take your existing configuration and customizations that are in MODS and bring them over into the Azure-based demo portal here and apply them to that VM so that you can actually continue to use your work that you had in MODS. As we go down the road, we're going to obviously RTM Dynamics AX 2012 R3, and that will be an additional listing that you'll see in this catalog. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and click the provision button there that's across from the Dynamics AX 2012 CU7 available option. When I do that, I'll be brought to this screen under My Demos. And this is primarily where you're going to go from now on when you log into the portal. Is just go to your My Demos. And as you can see, I provisioned 3 demos here, 2 simultaneously. And I know they're provisioning because I see in live action, I would actually see a spinning indicator there. We're not really doing anything other than making the availability and the realization of a demo very fast. So we were accelerating the idea of doing a demo to actually being able to quite a bit here. But there's nothing that prevents you from using your subscription, creating your own VMs, adding your own software to them, and doing whatever you want to do within your own subscription, of course. So again, this portal is really, number one, accelerating your available demo facility, literally saving you up to several weeks in some cases, depending on what you're trying to configure and install. The second major point, though, is that once you've turned on your VMs, and in this case there are 7 VMs that are in each one of these VM sets, they're going to, just like the electric utility will charge you if you leave your lights on, if you leave the demo running, the Windows Azure compute facility will continue to bill you as well. And because people like to start their demos and then stop them, that's why we provided a very easy mechanism here to just click and stop the actual execution of your demos. And when you take all of your VMs out of compute and deallocate them, then there's a very nominal charge for storage that you're going to pay from that point on. So as you can see, the facility not only gets you to a realization of a demo very quickly, but it also allows you to manage your costs by being able to start and stop your demos when you see fit. I can click that connect button, and that connect button simply generates an RDP connection request at the bottom of the page here that I can either save for later usage, or I can email to others to use my running demo, or I can just click open. And as you can see, it's going to open up a connection to that cloud service identified by that long ID there that you can see. And that ID is randomly generated by the portal using Azure services. And when I actually click open, I will then get the familiar credentials ID dialog, where I will actually enter the contoso WAC / that is demo user, in this particular case administrator, and then I'll enter the familiar password that we've had for quite a while now, password1. Click OK, and after a couple of seconds of RDP negotiation and whatnot, I'm in my demo. And as you can see here, it's the familiar Dynamics AX 2012 R2 CU7 screen. So I thought I'd spend a couple of minutes of answering several of the questions that came up from Blitz 1, and then we'll conclude. What's coming? The demo portal right now is in beta. It's an internal beta, so that we can understand some scaling capabilities and issues, because the portal itself does a lot of the provisioning work. So we're in the midst of that and getting a lot of good feedback from those that are participating. We're going to expand the beta right around the time of convergence, early March, and we'll start to invite some partners to help us out there to test the live ID capabilities, as well as just get more feedback from additional users. And then by the April 1st timeframe, we will be launching this into production. And at that point, the URL will change from beta.microsoft.go or microsoftgo.com to www.microsoftgo.com. What do you need to get prepared? As I showed you earlier, you need to get an Azure subscription. Again, what demos are available? On April 1st, we'll have Dynamics AX 2012 R2 CU6 and CU7. And then after our 3 RTMs, which is expected to be in that time frame, we will then release it when it becomes generally available on May 1st. And so there will be a Dynamics AX 2012 R3 demo capability on May 1st available. A couple of other questions that were asked. Will companion apps work? And the answer is yes. Will there be new demo scripts available? And the answer is yes. So becoming very familiar with Azure and what it is and what it can do is really going to be crucial for your success in future sales opportunities. So with that, I will go ahead and turn it over to the next speaker.
From the head office to the smallest of stores, from point of sale terminals to integration with online marketplaces, retail product catalogs, and more, Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 provides integrated omni-channel capabilities for retail businesses. I am ecstatic to invite our Michael Griffiths from our retail industry team to show you what we've got planned for our 3 retail customers. Hang on to your hats, folks, and if you lose it, don't worry. You can buy a new one from a company that can give you an amazing experience with these new tools.
Hi everyone, I'm Michael Griffiths, Global Managing Director for Microsoft Dynamics Retail and Commerce Solutions. Why am I so excited about retail? Because we have the most widely available and fastest growing retail solution in the world. So how do we build on that momentum and accelerate our business even further? Well, the answer is R3, our largest retail release ever, and in fact, it's our 5th in 4 years, which gives us an industry-leading release cadence and shows the investment that we have as Microsoft. The new release puts people first. The customer interaction where business process meets customer engagement is the pivotal moment where business is won or lost. It's where loyalty is determined, where an organization's brand is either enhanced or diminished. R3 is the realization of Microsoft Dynamics for Retail's full end-to-end vision. It will be helping businesses such as Ashley Furniture, Delta Airlines, and Jean Coutu deliver amazing experiences that make customers happy. Dynamics for Retail has always delivered a complete experience with a seamless and differentiating solution for point of sale, merchandising, supply chain, and more. Now with R3, we are fully completing that picture with the market's first and only single commerce engine that can create a complete omnichannel experience. We've added enhancements for industry-leading mobility, assisted sales center, merchandising, e-commerce, enterprise manageability, and more. Finally, we are building on this release and our commitment to help retailers be dynamic, especially in the areas of mobility and e-commerce, with exciting new partnerships with companies and leaders like Vantif and Sitecore, as well as an expanded relationship with global systems integrators like IBM. With that, let's talk about retail and R3.
So we're going to talk a lot today about the R3 release of Microsoft Dynamics for Retail, which is the largest retail release that we've put in market. A lot of exciting capabilities and features that are built around mobility and e-commerce and omnichannel. But before we get into the specifics of R3, I want to take a step back and think about why this is so valuable for our customers. Because beyond retail, you get so many other capabilities with Dynamics out of the box. We don't have a strategy where we ask you to buy module after module. As a customer, you get tremendous value from not only retail capabilities, but their integration to what we do in manufacturing and professional services, in public sector, in distribution and elsewhere. So organizations have a solution that can cover the entire spectrum of what they need to do to serve their customers across multiple industry functional areas. And so retail has been built not in a vacuum, but thinking about all of these different areas about the Dynamics roadmap holistically. And it also drives a lot of value in terms of our R&D team who work closely with these other groups and other parts of the organization to ensure that when we talk about point of sale, when we talk about merchandising, when we talk about mobility, it's done in the context of what that means for distribution, for financials, for integration to supply chain. And those are important points because this is, again, how Microsoft and Dynamics are giving customers more for their money, how we're doing more for them in the retail industry, but then across all the different areas of their business. And this is really important when you think about the situation that many retailers face today. They're very disconnected. Their world is one of silos. Their online business is not necessarily connected to their stores. The associates don't have visibility to activity that's taking place. And this really is a challenge when you have customers that are moving from social networks to online storefronts to in-store experiences. They want to have one consistent engagement with the retailer, yet the retailer's technology doesn't allow them to do that. It creates problems in reporting. It creates problems in replenishment. It creates problems in inventory management. And it certainly doesn't allow the associates to have the information readily at their fingertips to show the activity that that customer has been engaged in across the channels where they like to shop and where they like to spend their time. So with Microsoft Dynamics for Retail, we've taken a completely different approach to this. It's not pieces and parts. It's not a series of acquisitions that are cobbled together. This is a holistic end-to-end retail solution that was built from the ground up, all components meant to work together, all channels covered. And what you'll find as we go through this presentation and we talk specifically about R3 is we really have completed this vision in a very powerful way. in terms of mobility, in terms of call center, assisted sales, things that we've done with e-commerce and global gift card. There's a lot of places where we've taken what was already a very comprehensive cross-channel end-to-end solution and now really made it come to life when we talk about a mobile omni-channel world. And you've heard this, I think, probably in other presentations and other times, but ultimately one thing that sets Microsoft Dynamics apart is that we do offer the end-to-end experience, but we also give you the power of choice. We allow you to deploy in the way that makes the most sense for your business. So whether it's Carrefour, who's deploying omni-channel order management globally so that they can do important things with their customers and offer buy online and pick up in store and seamless transparency across any channel, or it's Delta Airlines that's deploying over 22,000 mobile devices across over 700 aircraft. You can start where it makes the most sense for your business and then expand the footprint of what you're doing over time. That's what allows you to have investment protection. We also allow you to integrate to your third-party systems. Dynamics and Microsoft, more than any other vendor, were built and optimized to complement your existing technologies. This is how you drive the total cost of ownership that's necessary to truly be successful in the retail industry. And speaking of the foundation and the platform, we'd start first with Dynamics Retail Server. And this is an important addition for the R3 release because it gives us the ability to open up new scenarios. We've always had offline mode as one example. If a point of sale were to go down, you could still capture transactions. But now with Retail Server at the store level, you'll be able to consolidate data across multiple devices, multiple POS. The Retail Server will enable all of our mobile scenarios. It will also mean that if your store goes offline, you'll still be able to suspend a transaction on one device and move it to another. You won't lose any of the customer experience, even in offline mode. And that's just one example of some of the powerful differentiation that we'll drive with Dynamics Retail Server. Whether it be in the store or whether it be managing a population of mobile devices across an entire enterprise from a central perspective, Retail Server is a component that's going to make a big difference in us delivering omnichannel and us delivering mobility. And at the heart of that is our commerce runtime. Ultimately, we are the only vendor in the marketplace that offers a single commerce engine that can run any channel of your business from a single location. You know, the contrast would be someone like Oracle that has a commerce engine for ATG, and they have one for Retech, and they have one for Oracle Financials. You're ultimately having to create promotions, discounts, and other strategies 4, 5, 6, 7 different times, creating a lot of duplication, a lot of complexity, and adding to the cost of running your business. Our commerce engine was built from the ground up to be unique in the marketplace. And you see all the capabilities there, whether it be customer, promotions, taxes, shipping, payments. This is where all of that lives. And when you make those modifications, when you configure those capabilities, it will apply to everything across your business. Your Facebook and Twitter pages that you may have, your brick and mortar stores, your online digital storefronts, all of it will light up simultaneously with a consistent strategy across all of these areas. This truly is something unique in the market. And then to take it one step further, this technology allows you to plug in third-party applications and still have them be a part of an omni-channel environment. And that's a really important point, that most solutions, there's middleware, there's complex integration that must be built. Oftentimes, even with integration, those parts of your business remain separate. So not only does this offer a complete Dynamics and Microsoft experience, it allows your existing technology to be a part of an omni-channel customer engagement. And in terms of how all of this data is moving across the channels, we've thought very deeply with our Commerce Data Exchange, making a number of significant enhancements with the R3 release, having both the real-time and the asynchronous component so that we know that when you're thinking about things like loyalty transactions or making a return or doing a real-time inventory lookup or even adding a customer to the system, you can do that and have that immediately be visible across all channels of your business. But then we also understand there will be things like store configuration or making a POS setting or changing a price that you don't want to have happen in real time. And we give you the power to make those changes as well. So Commerce Data Exchange is another critical foundational component of our solution that really lights up the omni-channel world that's seen a number of important enhancements with R3. And all of this in this diagram really comes to life. The CRT embedded in the different channels of your business, including some of the new additions we have, like our call center and catalog sales. We've always focused on omnichannel, but with R3, we're really now fleshing that out completely by adding those capabilities so that after a sale, you can make a call for support or to create a sale by calling someone and getting a live individual on the phone. Also, from a catalog perspective, being able to do catalog sales, see that from the POS, being able to sell items across that as an additional option, further drives benefit for our customers around the world. So having talked about some of the critical infrastructure and platform components that really are the foundation of the solution, let's talk about the specific areas of investment where R3 is coming to life. One of those very critical is mobility. We know that mobility in e-commerce will be one of the dominant investment areas for organizations going forward. We have the great example like a Delta Airlines that's deployed over 22,000 devices across over 700 aircraft. What's enabling that is our investments that we've made in mobile technology for POS that can run not only on a tablet but on a phone and can run on Windows first and best because Windows really is optimized for enterprise mobility, but could also run on iOS or Android so should the situation call for it. We want to give customers the flexibility to leverage investments and the power of choice across all areas. And then we think about catalog and call center sales, another avenue for you to engage to your customer and with your customer how, when, and where they shop. We've made investments across e-commerce and social so that you can leverage Facebook and Twitter not only as a way to communicate with the customer, but to provide them with promotions and potentially have your own storefront page through social media. Excellence in retail operations. And this one is important when we think about some of the capabilities that are critical like kitting, merchandising, order management, and other things that are fundamental to a retail solution. We've made a number of enhancements there. Retail Essentials, which is a configuration option. We recognize that some organizations want to run a much more streamlined operation. They're not going to be leveraging as much functionality as others. So we give you the ability to configure the solution with Retail Essentials with a simplified dashboard, less access to certain areas of the system that you may not be leveraging. And so it's a way that you can have the system tailored to the way that you use it. And then finally, enterprise manageability. We work with organizations, as I've mentioned, from Delta Airlines to Carrefour, very large companies with thousands of users, thousands of locations. And so being able to manage devices, upgrades, performance, and being able to really have their system be a value add for all scenarios in real time is critical for us. And so there's a lot of investment that's gone into that, whether it's Microsoft System Center Operations Manager integration. We've used a lot of existing Microsoft tools and technologies in the right way to help enhance the performance of Microsoft Dynamics for retail. And another important part of R3, in addition to the solution and the capabilities and all the functionality that's being added, strategic partnerships. There are many organizations that have seen what we've done with R3. They've seen the functionality that's been added, the omni-channel story we have, and the unique differentiation. And so with R3, we also have announced partnerships with IBM as an example, who has a global systems integrator with their services organization. Will be taking Dynamics for Retail to market. They'll be taking R3 and deploying it. They'll be offering value-add capabilities, even IP investments that they'll make to differentiate the solution further in areas where we haven't yet invested. And then a partner like Vantif, an industry leader in payment processing who really understands what it means to take solutions to market in terms of business applications, mobile hardware. We're going to be developing additional mobile scenarios in partnership with Vantif so that scenarios like sign and collect or direct sales organizations will be able to really cover mobility at any scale, end-to-end, across multiple customer points of engagement. And then Sitecore, who's a global leader when it comes to customer experience platforms, whether it's e-commerce, behavioral targeting, personalization. Sitecore will take what Microsoft Dynamics for Retail does in R3 and really extend that holistically and light that up so that customers can have an experience that's tailored very much to them, so that retailers can know who they're reaching out to, who they want to focus on as a demographic, and offer a lot of powerful capabilities. So the Sitecore partnership will be one that's global and will be a key part of our e-commerce strategy moving forward. And then obviously, from a hardware perspective, Microsoft is unique in the marketplace because we offer tablets like Surface 2. And Surface 2 will be an enterprise initiative for us as well as consumer. And in the enterprise, because of how it's retail hardened and it's able to survive but still have all the benefits of security and enterprise manageability and all the aesthetic value that comes with an industry-leading device, that combined with Dynamics for Retail and the R3 release will be a very compelling scenario. And then we also touch on Parature. We made that acquisition as we continue to round out our CRM story for customer care, for knowledge repository, being able to offer customers the ability in self-service or in other scenarios to engage with organizations and to have the right type of experience across the board. So we're going to start with a demonstration of our modern POS client, and this is one of the most significant additions we've made to the R3 release. Ultimately, this client is able to be displayed on tablets, on phones, very, very flexible, and as we get into the demo, you're going to see the power of what this offers in terms of becoming ultimately a customer engagement dashboard, if you will. So we'll start by logging in as a cashier. And what you're going to see is that there's specific capabilities that as a cashier I'm going to have access to. And then we'll show the contrast as a manager. But I do want to drill into, if you go to the sales screen as a starting point, you're going to see a few things. The number pad is going to be on the right-hand side. You're going to see functional access to different capabilities, whether it's adding a loyalty card, whether it's doing an actual tender. Drilling down into additional detail is optimized on the left-hand side. And we show this because we do want to show the contrast. This is a role-based system, which means the look and feel from a functional font, color, graphic can be optimized for individual, for role, for region. It gives you power to help your people to lower training times, to increase speed of service. And so once we've shown this cashier view, we'll contrast that by now logging out and going back into the system as a manager. And what you're going to see if we scroll over to the right is that this person logging in as a manager now has an entirely new group of capabilities, manager operations, if you will, that they're able to take advantage of. It's also important to note, you'll see that this modern POS client, from a look and feel standpoint, leverages the best of Windows 8. You'll see that you've got multiple areas of access, not only your manager operations, but tasks that you can complete, the ability to look at different items, the ability to do traditional point of sale. As we go through this, what you'll find is this modern client is really combining the best of transactional POS, intelligence that you can get from all channels, as well as customer engagement. So one of the examples that I think is really compelling would be to go into the reporting functionality under Manager Operations and show you what that looks like. And if we decide to start by, let's just go to Sales by Staff as an example. And what you'll see is you can set your parameters for the report that you want to see. And then when you run the report, you're going to get two different views. One is a table view, and the other is a graphical view. But as a manager on the store floor, or anywhere that you happen to be, now you're going to have access to rich information that's relevant to your business, and you're going to have it at your fingertips on the same device that you're using to engage customers and complete sales. So one of the things we do want to highlight is the flexibility that we give you in terms of how you can view and evaluate products. So we'll give you a sense of that. If we go up to the top of the modern client, what you'll see is a number of different options. If you go to the Products tab, you're going to see the ability to look at products in the current store, but you're also able to see products from other stores should you choose to, or you can go and look at all products at once. If you were going to look at products from another store, all you do is simply type in the location, and through Bing Maps integration, you're now going to see those available stores, even to the point that you'll be able to understand the inventory availability per store. So that's how you would look for an item at a different location, but in this case, we're going to look for something that's in our current store. And when we do that, what you'll see are the catalogs. And here, really powerful capabilities that's new for R3. You can look at catalogs, and there may be multiple types. It could be a catalog that's seasonal. It could be for a specific promotion you've created, or it could be your standard store product catalog for all items. And so with this, we'll dive into that one specifically. And what you see is a very graphical interface meant to optimize speed, meant to optimize customer friendliness and engagement. If you're holding a tablet, you're with the customer.
So in this case, let's drill into one of the items. From a fashion apparel perspective, we have a customer and she's looking for a top, but she's not quite sure which one. So what we can do is select multiple options and go down to our compare function and do a side-by-side look at this. And what we're going to see, a lot of relevant information, everything from pricing and description and features, even being able to pull in things like reviews that may be coming on this item from different channels. And we have the ability to drill into one of these tops more specifically to get an even deeper level of depth. We can look at different colors, we can look at different styles and sizes. Ultimately, this is powerful functionality, especially considering all of the great fashion apparel customers that we have running Dynamics for Retail. So in this case, we've selected what we think is the top that we want, and we're going to add it to the sale. And notice when we do this, in this particular, with the manager login, we now have changed the optimization of the buttons from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. Another interesting function is the ability to save real estate on the screen. You see the Tasks tab, but you also have the ability to go to the number pad, which is neatly embedded just under that. So you can flip back and forth if you need to. We'll go back to Tasks. So this is some of the power from a transactional perspective, but now where this really starts to separate itself from other solutions in the market is how we bring in the customer detail. So we're going to go and we're going to add a customer to the transaction. And we have the ability to search for customers on multiple criteria. We'll choose the name, and then we'll go in and we'll select Karen. And what you're going to see here is us bringing the clienteling experience into what was always a traditional point of sale. You're not having to go back and forth between separate CRM systems and separate point of sale. We're going to be able to see contact information, their last store visit, how long they've been a customer. We're going to see all of their recent purchases, and you've got the ability to select from a graphical perspective the item pictures that you would want, and you can have those match across channel to your e-commerce storefront, whether you use them in Facebook. You're also going to see the wish list that was created online, and in this case Karen hasn't selected a wish list, but had she, it would have shown up here whether it was created online or elsewhere, and she would then be able to be reminded potentially of items that she may have wanted to purchase. We're also able to look at suggested products. So this could be based on loyalty status. That could be based on purchase history. This could be based on a number of rules and parameters that you set. But this is how you increase your conversion rates by up to 40% by making intelligent recommendations. You're also going to see all the orders that were created through any channel at any time, that entire history. You can either fulfill the order from the POS that may have started elsewhere, or you can create a net new order. But that's all functionality that exists as part of this powerful customer dashboard. And so we'll add Karen to the sale. And now ultimately we have the ability to see the transaction. We have the ability to see the customer. You see some of the other ability under customer that we can engage with them through different means and different ways. And with that, ultimately we will complete the transaction. We'll choose a payment type. One of the flexibilities of this point of sale is that it's going to work with multiple payment types across multiple countries, optimized for requirements that are coming, PCI compliant, handles things that are coming like chip and pin and other. So we'll add the data for the card into the card payment. You would normally just swipe this through a magnetic stripe reader, and then we're going to tender the payment. And ultimately what you want to see is additional power that you can send the email receipt directly to the customer by their chosen method of engagement. The change due, and we've completed a transaction. And I think what's important to note here again is that this is from a look and feel, from a product comparison standpoint, from a clienteling perspective, you're really able to do all the things you need from a single mobile experience, optimized look and feel specifically to what you need for your business. And as we've said, your technology becomes an extension of your brand. So if you're standing next to a customer, this is the type of experience you want to create. With that, I hope you can see why I'm so excited about everything Microsoft is doing in retail, especially with the R3 release. It's no doubt that Microsoft is all in when it comes to this industry. Thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate you watching.
I am particularly excited about the powerful differentiation that we have for manufacturers. What an opportunity. Your responses to the last Blitz show how deeply committed our field and partners are to this sector. So let's go to the next click down and take a closer look at some brand new change management and shop floor application demos. It's capabilities like these that make R3 such a powerful presence in the manufacturing space. The team has built something awesome for us. Let's check it out.
Hi, I'm Bill Moffitt, and I'm an industry product marketing manager focused on the manufacturing industry with Microsoft Dynamics. I'd like to review some of the key manufacturing capabilities found in Microsoft Dynamics AX that I feel you need to be aware of when seeking to sell into the manufacturing industry. Today I'm going to review some of the key features that you'll find in Dynamics AX 2012 R3 and even show a couple of demos highlighting these new features. The planned Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3 enhancements coming in April of 2014 include new supply chain related functionalities such as demand forecasting, warehouse management, and transportation management. In addition to these supply chain capabilities, we also have product change management capabilities and even a new shop floor control application built to take advantage of the Windows 8 application framework. Today, we'll provide short demonstrations on some of this functionality. In an effort to not duplicate the efforts of the other presenters during this Blitz presentation, I won't be showing the warehousing or transportation management functionality, but I do plan to have short demos on demand forecasting, product change management, and the new shop floor app. In the meantime, let's take a quick look at the demand forecasting area. Delivering excellence is not just about providing best-of-breed functionality to customers. It's also important to make sure that you meet the individual needs of users while doing so within a reasonable budget. When we release Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3, we are planning to include a lightweight yet powerful demand forecasting tool that leverages SQL analysis servers to enable users to forecast demand based on historical data, adjust that information for the forecast demand using Excel, and then imports those values back into the Microsoft Dynamics AX forecast models. By building a design that leverages existing Microsoft technology to create new functionality, Dynamics AX's demand forecasting functionality will be a familiar solution to use that offers the flexibility to make adjustments at any order point and all at a cost-effective price point. Now let's see a short demo by Christian Ritt, a senior program manager on the AX R&D team, who will provide a demonstration of the demand generation forecast process and how to make modifications to the forecast, all via Excel.
My name is Christian Ritt. I work as a program manager at Microsoft. In this video, I will show you how to generate forecast and modify it in Excel with AX 2012 R3 Demand Forecasting. From the Master Planning menu, under Demand Forecasting, we open Generate Statistical Baseline Forecast. Here we define the historical horizon that we want to use when generating our statistical forecast. I set the starting date to the 1st of February and the end date to the last day of November. Then we define when we want the baseline forecast to begin. I set this to the day after the 1st of December 2012. In order to include items in the forecast generation, they have to be part of at least one item allocation key. In here I can go in and I can select filters if I only want to generate forecast for some of my item allocation keys. I leave it blank as I want to use all of them. I click Show More Fields and you notice that now I can define my forecasting period. The first thing I define is the forecast bucket. This can be either day, week, or month. I choose month. Then I define the forecast horizon. This is the period that I will calculate my forecast for. I choose 12, meaning that I will calculate it for 12 months. Freeze time fence that I set to 1, meaning that I cannot change the first month of forecast from the starting date. Below that, we have the manual adjustments. With this field, my manual transactions will not be overridden by the next forecast generation. I click OK to start generating the statistical baseline forecast. Now an info log is showing me that the statistical baseline forecast has been generated and that I can click here to open the Excel file. In Excel, my data is placed in a pivot table. The column B is showing me the item allocation keys D, L, and T, and in the second row you see the months, December, January, February, and so on for my forecast. Notice that the first month, December 2012, is yellow as I cannot edit it. This was our frozen period. As this is a pivot table, we can choose how we see data. Let's try to add all the items under the item allocation keys. Maybe we prefer to see the item names instead of the numbers, so we can simply change that over here. I could also choose for each of the item allocation keys to see in which state that these items are planned to be sold. And if I want to see the forecast per customer group and state, I can simply add the customer group description and then switch them so that my customer group is on top of my state. This way I will see all the states under each customer group. And now that we are looking at the states, I might want to see all the customers' forecasts for each of the states as well. Let's change the view to see the products under each item allocation key, and then let's go in and see the historical demand, which are also available in the cube. As you can see here, I have my historical demand starting all the way back in February 2011. Now let's try to modify the forecast. And in order for us to have a good idea of what the forecast should be, we will say that we want to show both the actual demand and the forecasted quantity, and then go to the first month after the frozen period. You can see that the actual demand for January 2013 is 370. Based on this, we want the forecasted quantity to be 700, so we simply type this in. For the items below that, we want each of them to have a forecast of 100, so we are also changing that. In February, we want to change the forecasted quantity for the entire item allocation key from 1000 to 2000. Notice that when I double the item allocation key forecast, the forecast for each of the products in the item allocation key is also doubled. Now that we have made the modifications, let's publish it to the cube. We'll go to the OLAP tools and take the what if analysis, and here we will publish the changes. Now the changes are published, and you will notice that the little red triangles that we had next to the numbers that we changed are now gone, as they are now the same as the numbers in the cube. As we have the data in Excel, it's very easy to make some graphs that visualize the forecast for me. Here I have created a graph showing me the forecast for each of the item allocation keys. Below that I have a graph showing me the historical demand as well as the baseline forecast that we just generated. This concluded the video, Generate Forecast and Modify in Excel using AX 2012 R3 with demand forecasting. Thank you for watching.
For more details on the specifics of the demand forecasting functionality, be aware that we will be publishing this information out on Infopedia and PartnerSource and include additional videos on the setup and the use of the demand forecasting capabilities. You can also refer to the blog I wrote in the previous slide where I provided the URL. The new product change management functionality is used in a situation where a component that is used for production must be replaced by another component. A replacement can be necessary, for example, when a vendor discontinues a component or a customer requires a similar item to the original. A typical scenario would allow users the ability to effectively track changes to items based on other user decisions, associate artifacts such as other products, other items, bill of materials, and routing decisions in order to make for easy visibility into why those changes were made, and then even manage the entire product change approval process. For this demo, I've asked Conrad Voltman, a senior program manager from our AX R&D team, to help demonstrate this product change management functionality.
This video shows how product change cases can be used to do changes to products in Microsoft Dynamics AX. We start the product change case from the released product. I'm opening the released products list page. I want to create a product change case where in all products the amplifier 1 is replaced by amplifier 2. I'm creating a product change case in the Engineer tab. Create case. Selecting a case category of type product change. And I'm adding a log. I'm also adding the second component to the same case by associate with case. I'm selecting the new case. I'm opening the case and change the status to in process. From the associations, selecting the item M1 and run the where used analysis to find the finished products where M1 is used. These are two different products with two different BOMs. With one click I can associate them with the case. If I refresh the case, you can see all the associations that have been done by now. Selecting the first product and go to the product details, I will now use the BOM configuration to change a new BOM version. Copy the old BOM. In the new created BOM, we will replace M1 by M2. And associate the new BOM to the case. I'll do the same for the second item. Create BOM. Copy. Replace the component. And associate with the case. If I'm refreshing this now, I can see the two new BOMs added to the case. I will now go to the approve the form I will select all the entities. Select the planned effectivity date and suggest actions. The actions will be to approve the new bombs, to expire the old bomb versions, and approve and activate the new bomb versions. With one click I can apply all these actions. Now all bombs and bomb versions are approved. The old bomb versions have been expired and the new bomb versions have been activated. I'm now ready to close the case, which concludes the work on the case. This runs another check on the consistency of the case against the case rules.
Thanks, Conrad, for the demo. As we can see, this new product change management functionality in Dynamics AX 2012 R3 enables not only effective tracking of what happens to products historically, but also enables the customer to incorporate strong managerial decision-making and approval processes using their AX solution. For me, one of the most exciting parts of the R3 release is the ability to further leverage the Microsoft App Store. What the Microsoft AX product team has done is build an app that specifically addresses the needs out on the shop floor. We've referred to this internally as the Shannon app because it replicates the needs of Shannon, who is a shop floor operator role found in Dynamics AX. We've even taken the key requirements of her role and placed them in a modern user interface that allows the user to take advantage of our modern devices and leverage the power of touch. This app allows users an easy way to view and edit information out on the shop floor while embracing our One Microsoft approach. So I'm now going to demonstrate this app. I'll show how we can start production jobs, report on production quantities, both good and bad quantities, read work instructions and drawings, report the occasional breaks that people take, and even report absence and reasons for absence. To start the shop floor control app, the first thing we need to do is simply click on the icon, and it will pull us up to a login screen. Now, while we're looking at this, we can actually go over some of the setting capabilities that you have here. And we have different connection settings that you can click on. Certainly the demo mode capability, where literally you can use this app offline without any kind of connection to the internet. It will provide updated information and new data every time you log in, so you're working with a constant set of data. But also, if you want to work with a live back-end database, you simply put in the server address, user name, password, and if you have any kind of default company that you want the user to actually see data that is specifically applied to that company, you can define that as well. We also have other filters that you have the ability to leverage, namely if you want to tie a specific user that's logging in through this application to a production unit, resource group, or an individual resource itself, you can define this as well. And even tie in whether or not this user has the ability to leverage the webcam that is maybe on your Windows 8 device, Surface, or so on. Now the first thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and log in. With the badge ID, we could have scanned it or simply typed in the information. Click Login, and it will bring us immediately up to a dashboard view of what the user has to do for the day. First thing they'll look at is a summary listing of different jobs and the status of those jobs as they need to be working. For example, if there's any high priority jobs or jobs that they currently have on their list of things to do, they'll see there. For example, we have 7 jobs that we need to have started, and we will work on those in a moment. But we want to see first off if there's any messages that the system has for us, such as any kind of birthdays or customer visits or any kind of other information that someone wants to deploy out to the shop floor itself via Dynamics AX. And then finally over here on the right-hand side, we can see a listing of potential registrations and jobs that we have actually performed or any kind of activities that we have registered through this application itself. Those will be highlighted here on this this visual graph here on the right-hand side. But for first off, we want to take a look and go ahead and process a job. And we'll go ahead and click on this, and this will pull up the full listing of all the jobs that we have that have yet to work on in our system, and it gives us a nice view of what we need to do for the day. So as we can see here, we have, I think, 7 jobs, but if we had 7 jobs or maybe 700 jobs, there's still a value of being able to find those jobs specifically. If there were multiple ones on the screen, we could certainly go back and forth or sort up and down, searching for them. But what I've always found is filtering is always the easiest way. So we have that filtering capability built in here where we can click on, do a search on the number 49, and it pulls up production order 5249, and we can simply go in, click on that, and let's go look at the details of that item itself. And as you see, we have all the job production order information over here on the left-hand side. We see that we have one item that we need to work on for this job. We see that we do have an attachment. That's interesting, and we'll go back. We'll touch on that in a moment. But we can also see there's specific raw materials and that we need to have associated with this, what the process is for working on this job, and if there's anybody that's associated with this job that may also be working on it, I can view that information here. But I mentioned earlier that we have attachments available for this order itself, and by simply clicking on this, we can pull up a visual way of looking at the information. Maybe it's a picture of the product, maybe it's specific directions on how to go about using this product. Maybe there's a video that we want to associate with this on how to actually go about putting this working on this job and putting it together. All of that can be tied directly to this individual production order for this job and then viewed through this interface. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a step back, and I'm going to go back to the job itself. We're going to pull up the main list, and I'm going to actually get rid of the filter here, and I'm going to take a look at this first order that we have, 9989. I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to go ahead and start this job. We're ready to go ahead and begin production on this job itself. Simply go down, click Start, and it brings up the process of how many actually items on this order of these speakers do we actually want to go ahead and start working on. It automatically defaults to the full amount. I could have lowered that by simply clicking on the minus or plus sign if I wanted to increase that. And then once I find the number that I'm happy with, I go ahead and click Start. And we'll see that that order itself has disappeared from our list of jobs to do. And when I go back, refresh the page, we'll see that we have one job running. Now say it's a couple hours later, the job's finished. We can then go in, find that job, click on it again, and take a look at, is it ready, is it complete, are we ready to report on it? If so, we can go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and type in unit 10 for total number quantity, and then go over here, say it's complete, and we'll go ahead and report on it. And we'll see if that job disappears. And when we go back here, refresh again, it's no longer in the My Running Jobs as we have completed that. Now, periodically throughout the day, you'll have to do different things while you're out there on the shop floor. It's not all about just managing the jobs themselves. We do have the ability to do different types of activities, such as indirect activities, maybe cleaning up the area, maybe there's a company meeting or some kind of equipment repair that needs to go on while you're out there. Obviously, you want to be able to record the time that you've spent doing that as well. We can go over here and simply click on that. We'll say that we're working on some regular equipment maintenance, and by clicking on this, it then starts recording the amount of time that I've worked on this item or some quantity of repair units that I've put into a specific job itself. So that's a nice way of actually being able to do more than just job-related activities. And finally, if for some reason, maybe it's around lunchtime, and I'm in the middle of a job run, I certainly don't want to log off. Maybe I want to simply find a way to record that I am taking a break. And by going down here, clicking on Take a Break, I can simply click on Break for Lunch, and the system will lock down and allow me to take a step away, and I don't have to worry about anybody coming in behind me and inadvertently making some updates. Once I'm back, I can then go in and start working again by simply clicking on Start Working Again, and the screen will pop back up back to where I was working on it before. The demo you've just seen is still a bit of a work in process. We are actively engaged with customer advisory panels that are providing direct feedback on functional and usability enhancements that we plan to include in the final release of the product. Rest assured, though, we will continue to leverage the same general design and the great usability that it provides. The app will leverage a touch-enabled interface and will give users access to information on any device running Windows 8, which really makes for a useful tool in the manufacturing environment. From a pre-sales perspective, these same features also lead to very effective sales demonstrations. The app also comes with a demo mode included, meaning that we now have a fresh new pre-sales and demonstration tool to leverage during the sales cycle. So as you can see, we have a great deal to offer the manufacturing industry. We have the right approach to engaging effectively with people and processes. We have the right functionality to do the job, and we have the right technology approach that will allow us to address those challenges that manufacturers face on a daily basis. We've reviewed a lot today, and I want to thank you so much for your time. As you can see, Microsoft Dynamics AX includes a comprehensive set of manufacturing and supply chain capabilities right out of the box that will allow your manufacturing customers to innovate and respond with agility to changing business environments. We have many customer examples of this for you to leverage, so be sure to check out the manufacturing case studies on PartnerSource, Infopedia, and the Dynamics AX launch portal. I'd also encourage you to go out to that blog I referred to that I wrote on demand forecasting and look for others that will soon be published on the new manufacturing functionality coming in R3. There's a lot of excitement with Dynamics AX in manufacturing these days, so I encourage you to join in the conversation with social media, and let's really get the word out. Thanks again for your time, and have a great day.
I hope you are enjoying all this great content for Dynamics AX 2012 R3. Service industries are critical for our success. The architects, hospitality firms, construction companies, and other service-related businesses who are using Dynamics AX to create amazing experiences. R3 offers new things out of the box that are uniquely adapted to these movers and shakers. I've invited Tom Patton from our service industries groups and some special guests from R&D to introduce you to just a few of these. What are you going to serve up for us, Tom?
Hi, my name's Tom Patton. I'm a senior program manager on the Dynamics AX team working on service industry functionality. Today I'm going to walk you through the new features that we've got for service industries in Dynamics AX 2012 R3. Let's get started.
During this recording, let me just review some of the learning objectives that we have. First, we'll review how to use Dynamics AX and Dynamics CRM together. Then we'll look at the new planning and estimation capabilities we have. Then we'll take a look at how to staff your projects using the new visual resource reservation capability that we have. Finally, we'll have a look at the new mobile applications that help our team members collect their actuals like time and expenses while they're on the go. Across various service industry verticals, including architecture, engineering, and construction, or professional services automation, we see a similar type of process flow. And the good news is, in Dynamics AX 2012 R3, we've got new capabilities across this entire process flow. Let's take a look to get started at the sales and marketing capabilities that we've added as we manage opportunities. Here we can see Michael sitting in Microsoft Dynamics CRM reviewing a new opportunity he has to sell BI implementation services to cycle sales and repair. Here he's doing all of his opportunity management activities like collecting the stakeholders, identifying the contacts, and sketching out what he needs in order to make this a win. Down here you can see he's in the process of developing a new quotation to send out. In this quotation, Michael has made some estimations of the training services and application development that it will take to implement the BI project at Cycle Sales. These prices and information have been synchronized with Dynamics AX to provide accurate estimation capability for the salesperson. But at some point, it's important for him to get feedback from the delivery team so that they can fully estimate and schedule the work. The information you see here will be seamlessly synchronized back to Dynamics AX where the delivery team can do just that. Now that Michael has gotten to this stage in managing the opportunity, it's time to initiate a project and create an actual quotation. Let's take a look at how the service delivery team performs these actions. Now I'm playing the role of Prakash, and I'm looking at the same quotation here in Dynamics AX that we saw Michael working on in Dynamics CRM. We've got our training services and application development lines that he had filled out. Now let's go down and actually estimate the real work that it'll take to deliver this project. We can do that using the new work breakdown structure form that we introduced in R3. Now, Contoso does this kind of work all the time, so let's use a template that we have that describes all of the expenses, materials, and labor that's usually required for a BI implementation. We'll just import it into this quotation. Here you can see that our plan contains 3 phases: analysis, implementation, and delivery. We have predecessors that automatically schedule all of the dates for these tasks, and we have the duration and the cost categories that are associated with each task. In addition, if we look down here at the line details, here you'll see that for the deliver training task, we've accounted for both the expenses and the items that will be required to deliver the training. Now, this work breakdown structure makes it easy for the project manager to adjust the plan to meet the specific requirements of this engagement. For example, in this particular engagement, we know that our implementation phase is going to require some data cleansing tasks. So let's go ahead and add a new task to account for that. Here, I'll go ahead and say data cleansing, and I know that my data cleansing task can only happen after my ODS has been defined. So I'm going to go ahead and create a dependency so that that can be automatically scheduled in the correct date. Now my category here is application development, so I want to go ahead and get that spelled out correctly, and then I want to estimate the effort here at about 30 hours. Now you'll see as I change that 30 hours and I add those dependencies, the dates, start date and end date and duration are automatically computed for me.
Now that we've adjusted our plan using the new WBS form, let's go ahead and look at it in the quotation. Let's go ahead and generate the lines from our work breakdown structure directly into the quotation, and we're going to remove the original lines that were there. Okay, let's take a quick look at the totals. It looks like everything is in order here, and we're in a position to make a good amount of margin on this project. The next step is to gain internal approval for this quotation. Let's go start that process. Please review. Once the quotation has been internally approved and we're ready to move forward, it comes back here to Michael in Microsoft Dynamics CRM, where we can see the same level of detail is now present in my quotation. Now it's up to Michael to send this out using CRM and get approval from the customer. Once the customer has agreed to the terms of the contract, it's time to staff the project so we can get down to work. Here you can see on the project we've added a new tab for project team and scheduling. Let's see how this works. I can directly add new roles to my project by choosing a role template. I know I'm going to need a couple of developers for this project, so let's select software developer, say 2. Here we have a view of all of the candidates to fulfill the time frame that I'm looking for my 2 software developers. You can see that it's already added the skills that typically are associated with software developer. I can search through my resources across multiple legal entities, view their cost price, and see their availability and the number of hours they're able to be booked on my project, all in a single glance here. I can also search down by project experience, their education, whether they've played this role before in prior projects, and other attributes. Now, as we mentioned, this project is going to require some data cleansing. So I'm going to actually remove the standard skill sets that we have here and add that data cleansing as a capability that I want my developers to have here. And then let's do the search again. And now we have prioritized those developers which have data cleansing. So let's go ahead and choose the top 2, Catherine and Roxanne. Now you'll notice that these are coming from other legal entities. Later on in the demonstration we'll see how we can account for their expenses as they go across different legal entity boundaries. Let's go ahead and hard book these 2 resources for their full capacity on this project. Now, in addition to developers, we're going to add a project manager to our project here. Okay, we can see there are plenty of qualified project managers. We'll choose Robert for this project and book him on our project. Now that we've got our project staffed, let's go ahead and see if we need to make any final adjustments to the plan. Previously, we used the work breakdown structure to make these kinds of changes. This time, let's open the project up in Microsoft Project Client and make some changes there. In Dynamics AX 2012 R3, you can open any work breakdown structure in Microsoft Project Client and use the full capabilities of the client to make any scheduling or resource allocations that you need to make. As you can see, we have the same structure in the project client as we did in the work breakdown structure, and all of the dependencies, durations, and dates have been pulled across. Now I can do such things as, let's say I want to take these 3 milestones and add them to my timeline so that my team can easily see a visual indication of how my plan is going to pan out. Or I could go ahead and do some assignments as well. For instance, if I look at my resource names, you'll see that the 3 resources that we added in AX are now the 3 options that we have to choose for resources here in the project client. Let's choose Robert for these first set of tasks. Let's choose Catherine with her data cleansing capabilities for the next set of tasks. And just for illustration purposes, we'll let the project manager take the last set of tasks. Okay, in order to communicate this back to AX, I simply hit the Publish button. And all of that information is transferred back to Dynamics AX. Let's have a look at the project there.
Now we can see that Catherine and Robert have hours assigned to them to specific tasks on this project. The final thing we want to do before we start executing on this project is to establish a baseline budget. Now in 2012 R3, we've added a new feature here to let you import that directly from the work breakdown structure estimation lines that we've been manipulating either in the project client or in AX. Here we can see all of the materials, labor, and expenses that we anticipate on this project. So let's go ahead and submit the budget for approval. Please approve. Okay, with my approved budget in place, we're now ready to place this project in process. Now that we've completed the project initiation phases, it's time to get down to work. One of the features that we've added in 2012 R3 is to enable teams to collaborate and share this plan out on Office 365. Here you can see the same project plan that we developed in Microsoft Project and in Dynamics AX out on SharePoint in Office 365. This lets the team see the phases of the project and all of the individual tasks and collaborate on any documents or any other artifacts that will help them deliver this project successfully. So for instance, here you can see those same elements that we already planned out earlier. Another feature we've added is the ability to let team members easily enter their time and expenses while they're traveling. If I switch into my start screen here, we can open up the timesheet application and see how that's done. Let me go ahead and open up this draft timesheet and add an additional day's worth of work here. So you can see I've got 7 hours on Wednesday for Cycle Sales BI implementation. Let's go ahead and add another 8 hours on Thursday for the same project. Here we go. My activity was in my project plan and say making progress. Once I've completed adding all my time, I can submit this for approval onto the project. Please approve. In addition to entering time, we can also enter our expense reports in a similar fashion. Here you can see an in-process expense report for a trip out to Cycle Sales that helped me deliver this project. Once I can view all my expenses either by category, see them in a calendar view, or get a simple report of things. Once I've added them and attached all the receipts as necessary, I can go ahead and submit this for approval. Please approve. Now, as the team members are out there submitting timesheets and expenses, the project manager can use the new Approvals app to keep an eye on what's going on his various projects. Here you can see all of the expense reports, invoices, budget revisions, timesheets, and any other approvals in the system that are waiting my approval. So for instance, one of my team members here, Tricia Doyle, has gone ahead and entered some time on the BI implementation project for Cycle Sales, you see. I can review all the comments. I can get a feeling over here of all of her prior work that she's done on prior periods to make sure that it is similar for this period. I can view a summary of the time that she's spent by project or category or other views and understand the impact that this new time sheet is going to have on my project budget here by looking at the project impact statements. Once I've completed this, I can go ahead and approve this timesheet. Good work. In addition to helping team members enter time and collaborate on Office 365, we've added some new capabilities for the project manager to keep a pulse on the project as well. Here in the work breakdown structure view, in addition to the planning view that we looked at earlier, there's also a cost tracking view and an effort tracking view. This shows me all of my current actuals in conjunction with my planned originals. So for instance, on this analysis and design phase, there's a little bit of a project variance that has been projected based on where my progress is. I'm complete with some tasks, but not others, versus where my projections are. If I, for instance, then come in and say, well, I've got an estimated 6 hours remaining on this task, but actually I've got the good news that this has been completed already. When I change this to 100% complete, you can see the project variances react appropriately, setting that one back on track. In addition to the cost tracking and effort tracking views, we also have a new view on the budget balances. On the Control tab, if I open up my project budget balances, you can see that there's a number of different ways that I can look at my consumed budget relative to my approved budget, either by transaction type, category group, cost template category, or other flexible ways of looking at my budget. Now that my project has been under execution for some time, it's time to go ahead and do some billing and gain some revenue from this customer. One of the new capabilities that we've added in Dynamics AX 2012 R3 is the ability to more easily manage the costs of projects when they span across legal entities. For this demonstration, we'll show how some work done by Catherine Autier, you recall our data cleansing specialist, done under the French subsidiary, can then be invoiced to the United States subsidiary, which is actually the owner of the contract. You can see that Catherine has posted some timesheets here in the French company. So as a manager on the French side, I would be able to come in and go ahead and invoice that to the borrowing entity, the United States subsidiary. I do that using the new intercompany customer invoices capability. I'll create a new one here, select the legal entity, search for transactions, and I can see the work that Catherine has performed. I'll go ahead and select these and attach them to my invoice and post it. Now that my intercompany customer invoice has been created, I can switch hats back to the United States subsidiary, go to Accounts Payable, and view the corresponding vendor invoice. If I look at my pending vendor invoices at this point, here we'll see Contoso Consulting France. I can see the same work that Catherine performed on the behalf of USSI, and now if I post this invoice, those costs are now recognized on my project. Once my intercompany costs have been recognized on my project, I can go ahead and invoice the customer as I normally would, and as my projects are going along, I can review performance. One of the new things we've added in 2012 R3 is the ability to look at some earned value metrics for your projects. Let's have a look. Here on the Role Center for the Project Manager, we can see all the key performance indicators that we normally use to manage projects. We can see our actual versus forecast chart, and now the new earned value management chart. Let's have a look at a project that's been in process for a little longer. When we switch projects, we can see the actual costs as they've been incurred over the life of the project relative to the planned costs here in green, as well as the earned value as of today, which is $109,000 in this project. This, in addition to new Power BI capabilities that we've added, helps practice managers and other executives understand the current position of various projects in their portfolio. This brings us to the close of the standard life cycle of a project for a service industry organization. As you can see, we've added lots of new features in R3 across this whole spectrum, from our CRM integration at the sales and marketing phase, through project initiation, where we looked at using Microsoft Project Client to open any project in Dynamics AX, the new visual resource management capabilities that we've got to help you staff and plan your projects, and the new work breakdown structure that lets you account for all of your labor, expenses, and materials in a new user interface. Then we looked at project execution with Office 365 integration to help project teams work better together, a new set of mobile applications that help team members on the move easily enter their time and expenses, and project managers to approve those time and expenses. We looked at the progress views for effort and cost tracking, as well as some new budgeting improvements that we've rolled out. Finally, in the project billing phase, we had a look at intercompany billing that allows us to more easily account for costs when they span across legal entity boundaries. I hope this walkthrough helped you understand the new capabilities that we have for service industries in Dynamics AX 2012 R3. Thanks for your time.
Previously, we introduced you to the responsibilities of dynamic governments and shared some insights into how Dynamics AX helps provide citizen value. Today, we're going to drill deeper into the power and flexibility Dynamics AX 2012 R3 can offer government agencies. Todd Bergeson from our public sector group will show you a brand new e-procurement demo along with some other important things for your public sector customers. Todd, your public awaits you.
Hi, my name is Todd Bergeson, Senior Product Marketing Manager, Public Sector, Dynamics Industry Product Marketing. One key place that technology can really make a difference is in the procurement process. In this session, Brian Powell is going to show you how electronic purchasing is eliminating the need for handwritten requisition forms and long waits for supplies and services. So let's see how e-procurement can be more efficient, provide a better grip on the procurement process, and how it is altogether easier than paper-based methods.
So our session agenda for the day is to go through an e-procurement demo in action, and then come to recap it and calls to action. At the end of this session, you should be able to gain a deeper understanding of how the features of e-procurement work in Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3. As we discussed in Blitz 1, we have made significant improvements in 3 areas: the solicitation management process, the vendor portal experience, the bid tabulation and award process. So without further delay, I would like to introduce Brian Poe, Program Manager, Microsoft Dynamics AX, who will walk us through a demo of the new e-procurement functionality.
Hi, I'm Inga. I'm the Purchasing Manager for the City of Maple. One of the first things that I see when I log into Dynamics AX in the morning is I see a request assigned to my team. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to take a look at this purchase request that's come in, and I'm going to decide that this particular purchase requisition needs formal sourcing. So I'm going to go and accept ownership of this work item, and I'm going to go and take a look at this particular purchase request. This purchase request is for contracted services and raw materials. Because of the nature of this purchase request, I'm going to need to create an RFQ for this. I'm going to select both lines on this purchase requisition to be thrown onto the RFQ. And an RFQ has been created. Now that the RFQ has been created, I'm going to go in and take a look and select that this particular RFQ is going to require a services solicitation type. What that's going to do is it's going to default this particular RFQ to be a sealed bid. The next thing I'm going to do is throw in an expiration date and time for the next month. And what this is going to do is it's going to force me to ensure that the expiration date and time on the header of this request for quotation is the same as on the lines because it's a sealed bid. As part of the changes that we've made to the request for quotation, we've actually included scoring criteria that I can now take a look at. This is going to allow me to take a look at how I'm going to be scoring the bids that come in for this particular request for quotation. I can select a range of points for each scoring criteria, and I can actually add or remove scoring criteria if I'd like. Now that we've taken a look at the request for quotation lines, I'm going to go and click Auto Add Vendors. And what that's going to do is it's going to pull in all of the vendors associated with the procurement categories on the request for quotation. These are the vendors that I'm going to be specifically inviting to bid. The other thing that I'm going to do is qualify the vendors that are going to be bidding on this request for quotations to ensure that they are certified to provide the goods and services that are requested. So I'm going to go and add questionnaire. Now that that's complete, I'm going to do two things. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to send the request for quotation to the vendors that I've explicitly invited to participate in the bidding. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to publish this request for quotation to the vendor portal. What this does is it publishes the request for quotation to a vendor portal publicly and allows everyone who logs into the vendor portal to be able to see this RFQ and also be able to bid. Hi, I'm Mia. I'm the vendor, A-Datum, and what I'm going to be doing today is taking a look at my vendor portal and identifying one of the requests for quotations that I'd want to bid on. The next thing I'm going to do is bid on it. So looking at my request for quotations, I don't see the request for quotations that was just published by Inga. But if I take a look at the open request for quotations, I can see that Inga has published this RFQ for street repairs in Ward 41. However, I have not explicitly been invited to bid on it. However, my company does provide the goods and services that the street repairs request for quotation is asking for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select to bid on this RFQ. Now that I'm on the bid, I'm going to offer $250,000 for this contracted service, and for the raw materials, I'm going to charge $25 per ton. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to qualify myself by completing the questionnaire on the bid. Now that my bid is complete, I'm going to submit it. I'm going to receive a notification that my bid has been sent, and I'm going to be returned to my personal request for quotations list page, where I can see here that I have submitted a bid for the street repairs in Ward 41 request for quotation, and that it currently is sealed and is pending. Hi, it's Inga again. Now that the expiration date and time is passed for this request for quotation, we're going to unseal all of the bids that have been received for this request for quotation. Now that the bids have been unsealed, I'm going to go into A-Datum's bid, and I'm going to take a look at what they've put in and score. So they've put in one line for $250,000 and another line for 320 tons at $25. I can also view the answers to the questionnaires to ensure that the vendor has qualified themselves to bid. Now that I've taken a look at the answers to the questionnaire, I can be sure that the vendor is qualified to bid. Next thing I'm going to do is score the bid based off of the scoring criteria that was originally on the request for quotation. As you can see, there are 3 different scoring criteria here. I'm going to put in scores for each one of them based off of the range that I've set for these particular scoring criteria. Now I can see I have a total score of 95 for this bid. Now that all of the bids have been scored, I can see all of the total scores on the vendor tab. The next thing that I'm going to do is compare all of the bids through the new compare replies form. With this form, I can see total score for each of the bids, as well as all of the line details for each of the lines on all the bids. I can also filter by lowest net amount by line, or the lowest bid by total price. In this case, they're one and the same. This bid also has the highest total score as well, and I can actually also rank these bids. Based off of whatever ranking criteria I choose to use. The other thing that I can do is I can export these bid values to Excel to help with my evaluation. Now that I've completed my evaluation and I've ranked each one of these bids based off of total score or total amount, I'm going to select the winning bid and I'm going to award. In this case, this is the bid that was entered in by Mia as a Datum Corporation. Once the bid has been accepted, I'm also prompted to also reject the other bids as well, and that's what I'm going to do here. Now on the compare request for quotation replies form, I will see only the accepted bids. However, I can also filter to show the rejected bids as well. Now that the bid has been awarded, it's time to go into the purchase requisition and approve it. Now that I'm in the purchase requisition, I can see that it has been awarded. The bid from the request for quotation has been awarded to A Datum Corporation. So my next step is to go and approve the purchase order, complete it, and create the purchase order.
Thank you, Brian. As you can see, purchasing agents have greater flexibility to configure corresponding rules and details to support solicitation management. Vendors can do guest-based viewing or registered vendor proposal submissions. Purchasing agents can establish tabulation criteria and different award methodologies. So in conclusion, you should have a very good understanding of how e-procurement works within Dynamics AX 2012 R3. I'd also like to invite you to attend Convergence to get a further understanding and the sessions that focus specifically on e-procurement. There will also be a number of other recordings and training material that will be posted and available on PartnerSource.
Thank you, Brian, for showing us how organizations can benefit from the new e-procurement functionality in Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3.
Welcome back. If a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? I'm not much of a one for philosophy, but I do know that without pricing and licensing information, we can't sell our products. That's my way of saying this next section is super important. In our earlier event, you saw our introduction to R3 pricing and licensing scenarios. As promised, I've asked Michelle Matthews to come back and share more in-depth information on the R3 pricing structure and updates in pricing and licensing. Let's have Michelle take us out at the cash register. Michelle.
Hi, my name is Michelle Mathis. I'm a senior business planner with Microsoft Dynamics AX. In this session, I will be sharing with you additional details on the pricing and licensing updates for Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3. Now let's get started. First, I would like to thank those that attended the Blitz 1 session. Today we will be doing a quick recap of the announcements made on the pricing and licensing updates for Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3. Then we will spend some time discussing existing customer guidelines. I've received lots of great questions from all of you. I've picked a few to answer during our time today. Lastly, we will be going over some key pricing and licensing resources. At the end of this session, you should be able to explain what is new on pricing and licensing for Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3, explain existing customer guidelines, and understand what pricing and licensing resources are available to you. As previously discussed during Blitz 1 training, we will be making some updates to the licensing model and pricing as part of the Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3 launch. I would like to take a few minutes to provide you with a quick refresh of these updates that will be effective on May 1st, 2014. R3 brings some great new features providing further enhancements to the value of the server license. Some of these valuable features that you have heard about during the Blitz training are warehouse and transportation management, demand forecasting, Microsoft Dynamics Lifecycle Services, and companion apps. Based on customer and partner feedback, we are making several licensing improvements with R3. As you can see, we will be adding additional value to the functional CAL by moving 6 roles down that were previously classified as enterprise CALs. These roles are Manager, Marketing Manager, Environmental Manager, Quality Control Manager, Service Delivery Manager, and Vendor Account Manager. In addition, we are moving 5 roles from the functional CAL to the task CAL. The task CAL is being improved by now including the following roles: Shipping Clerk, Receiving Clerk, Warehouse Clerk, Dispatcher, and Machine Operator. To further enhance the value of the task CAL, we are adding the following use rights: approval of invoices, approval of all time and expense, including billable, and in addition, the task CAL will now include use rights to operate a warehouse device. We will be making updates to the use rights and menu items to reflect these improved CAL rights. I would now like to spend a few minutes recapping the updates for pricing for R3. I will be using the Dynamics Price List, also known as DPL, to discuss the pricing updates. However, in this chart you will also find the revised USD price points for the volume licensing programs. Note that the pricing for the enterprise agreements will change by the same percentages as the DPL. All EA pricing is shown as estimated retail pricing for level A. Please make sure you refer to your local price list for final pricing. R3 is providing several new product enhancements, which will all be included in the server license. With these improvements, we will be increasing the price of the server license on the Dynamics price list from $6,000 to $7,500. We will also be making some updates to the CAL pricing. As a result of feedback we have received, we will be reducing the price of the enterprise CAL on the Dynamics price list from $4,200 to $4,000. The enterprise CAL at this reduced price point will still provide full access to the Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3 functionality. Our licensing enhancements with R3 provide improved use rights for the functional CAL. We will be making a slight adjustment to the price of the functional CAL on the DPL from $1,400 to $1,600. Please note that the price of the task and self-serve CALs will remain unchanged. Keep in mind that these new price points apply to both user CALs and device CALs. All licensing model and pricing updates will be effective May 1st, 2014. With these pricing adjustments to R3, there is a unique opportunity for partners to take advantage of the current pricing and to close deals before May 1st, 2014. For example, new and existing customers that purchase new Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R2 server licenses before May 1st, 2014 can save up to 20%. Please check out PartnerSource for details on how to promote awareness of this No Better Time to Buy campaign. Now let's discuss what you need to know about existing customers. I will first walk through volume licensing customers, and then on the next slide I will discuss customers ordering off the Dynamics price list. Any new or renewed agreements on or after May 1st will utilize the updated R3 pricing and licensing we just discussed. Existing Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 customers with an active enterprise agreement will continue with their existing use rights and pricing until its expiration date. For example, if the customer's EA expires in September 2014, they will continue with their existing R2 pricing and use rights until the agreement expiration. In September 2014, when the customer renews their agreement, the R3 pricing and licensing changes will apply immediately. Next, let's discuss existing Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 customers that purchase from the Dynamics price list. All new customers after May 1st will utilize the updated R3 use rights and pricing. Existing DPL customers prior to May 1st that are active on BREP will not have an impact to their existing licenses or their associated protected list price. Therefore, as long as customers remain on plan, the BREP associated with the existing licenses will not be impacted. If an existing customer wishes to purchase additional licenses after May 1st, they will need to utilize the updated R3 pricing and licensing. For example, if an existing DPL customer purchases a new server on April 1st, the price will be $6,000. However, if that same existing customer purchases a new server on May 15th, the price will be $7,500. As we discussed earlier in this presentation, this creates a no better time to buy campaign between now and May 1st. For the customer in this example, it would be beneficial for them to purchase their additional server before May 1st to take advantage of current pricing. Again, thanks for all your questions and feedback. I would like to take some time to address a few of the frequently asked questions I have received recently. Why are you making these updates? As a normal course of action, we evaluate and assess how to provide this product in a way that can ensure that an organization and its employees get the maximum benefit from our offering at a cost that provides the best value for their investment. Guided by this commitment to delivering value and based on extensive feedback from our partners and customers, we have made some adjustments in our licensing and pricing model for Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3. We believe this will give our customers the value and flexibility they need. What if today my customer is a functional CAL, but with R3 they will only need a task CAL? Will they be able to step down? We do not have a step-down functionality available. However, these existing customers will still maintain the flexibility and advanced functionality of the higher level CAL. Do these updates impact AX 2009? No, this is not impacting the Microsoft Dynamics AX 2009 pricing structure. Can AX 2009 customers upgrade to AX 2012 R3? Yes, we will still utilize the current AX 2012 upgrade policy posted on PartnerSource. Can an existing DPL customer transition to an enterprise agreement? We do not currently have a standard policy for DPL customers to transition to an EA. I would like to take a couple of minutes to discuss pricing and licensing resources. First, let's discuss where to find the resources. PartnerSource has a specific pricing and ordering tab, and it is a great place to look for information. This is also where we post our announcements on updates to pricing and licensing. In addition, on the Microsoft.com site, you can find a Microsoft Dynamics AX How to Buy page that contains high-level information about our pricing and licensing. Finally, if you're from the field, your best resources are the AX Pricing and Licensing Infopedia page and the Dynamics Pricing and Licensing Yammer page. Now let's talk about what resources will be available for R3. There is a pricing announcement now posted that provides the new DPL price points by country. Also available is an FAQ document. This document will continue to evolve over time as we receive additional questions that need to be addressed. We have various use right documents that we are in the process of updating. These documents will become available closer to launch. There is a generic licensing guide as well as some industry-specific guides that will be updated to reflect all the changes we have discussed today. Look for these to be ready in the April timeframe. Finally, a great resource for understanding the proper CAL to license can be found within the Lifecycle Services tool. This license size estimator tool will be updated with the R3 changes within the next few months. Let's take a few minutes to recap what we've talked about today. We discussed the improved use rights and modified pricing with R3. We walked through existing customer scenarios, and then we answered some FAQs and provided information on additional resources. For partners, we encourage you to use PartnerSource to review existing and future R3 materials. And of course, if you have additional questions, please contact your Microsoft representative. For the field, please use Infopedia to review existing and future R3 materials. And if you have additional questions, feel free to use our Yammer site. Thank you for your time today, and I hope you found this session informative. As you can see with Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3, we will be improving use rights and modifying the pricing to make this release even more powerful, flexible, and competitive. Please make sure to check out all the great resources we discussed to learn more. Thanks again for your time today.
At our last session, Emily Stone from our marketing team had some great suggestions for partners on how to leverage the upcoming R3 launch. Today, I've asked her to come back and to bring a friend from Hitachi Solutions. Emily and her special guest want to share with you how Hitachi is not only participating in the R3 launch activity in the short term, but also how they see R3 as a key investment for the long term. With the help of partners like Hitachi and partners like you watching today, and of course our own field, we look forward to helping new businesses unlock their true potential. Let's learn more about what Hitachi has in mind and what else Emily has for our launch. Emily?
Hi there, I'm Emily Stone and I'm responsible for partner marketing for Microsoft Dynamics Worldwide. Today I'd like to talk you through the exciting opportunities that we have for our partners in taking our new Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3 product to market. So I'll be talking you through those activities, and then I'll be speaking to a special guest, Salim Farouk from Hitachi Solutions, who'll be talking through his plans for launch. So let's get started. So instead of focusing all our efforts on one big one-off launch event, we're going to be doing a series of activities and PR announcements around launch, almost as a sort of rolling thunder as we build up to general availability on the 1st of May. So in January, if you attended the National Retail Federation event, or you might have seen, Microsoft Dynamics had a big presence there. So we had the retail team there talking to the press and talking to our customers and prospects, etc., about the new AX product and the implications for retail. And then in March, you'll all be aware that we have Convergence. So I hope that you'll be attending that event and bringing your customers and prospects there. And that's our in-person launch event for AX R3. Continuing through March, the German team and the German Microsoft team will be at CeBIT, where Christian Pedersen will be going and speaking, and we'll have a strong presence there. And then in April, we'll be holding an online experience event. That's going to take place on the 10th of April. And that's really the event and the opportunity that I wanted to talk to you today about, and where I think that's a great opportunity for our partners to leverage that investment and that marketing. That excitement and interest will continue throughout April, up until May the 1st, where we have general availability. And then we'll continue with in-person events, and our subsidiaries will be supporting you if you're having your own in-person events post the 1st of May as well. So in regards to the online event that we're holding on the 10th of April, I wanted to just take you through what the format of that will be. This is a draft agenda, so the individual sections are still being decided upon, but the format of the event will be pre-recorded. So we'll be using the pre-recorded keynotes that Christian Pedersen is doing at Convergence, and then we'll be also feeding in industry sections and customer interviews along with demos to make it a really interactive and vibrant experience for the viewers. There'll be a kind of live Q&A going on throughout the event where members of our team will be talking to the viewers, and you'll have the opportunity to ask questions. But this is really the opportunity for you to invite your customers and prospects along to this event for them to hear more about AX R3. And I'll be talking through in just a moment exactly what you can do to leverage that opportunity and take advantage of the marketing. So I just really wanted to emphasize just how much of an opportunity this online experience event will be for our partner channel, and make sure that you really I guess understand what that can mean for your marketing and how you can leverage it. The event is really hands down the single most valuable and lowest cost marketing activity from Microsoft Dynamics AX that you can take advantage of this year. So it really, in terms of, we're providing you with the materials to use to drive attendance, and obviously the event itself we're running, so that won't cost you anything. So it really is an extremely valuable low-cost marketing activity for you. The event itself is a great excuse to connect with maybe some of those customers and nurture prospects that you haven't spoken to in a while. It's a reason to go back and speak to them and invite them. You can also obviously reach those customers and prospects as a low cost. As I said, the event isn't going to cost you anything, so it really is a low cost activity. It also gives you the opportunity to promote your business to your customers as well and prospects. So as well as being able to stream the online experience event that we're putting on, you'll also be able to position your own point of view around those materials that we're providing and add in your own value proposition to the AX R3 value proposition. So that bit's really important too. We're making it very easy as well for you to track the demand that you're driving around the event and track those registrations and attendees. So in terms of calls to action, firstly, I just want to ensure that you've all watched the Blitz 1 session as well as this one, and encouraged all your colleagues to also watch the sessions as well. Blitz 1 contains some really valuable sessions around the value proposition around AX R3 and specifically around our go-to-market industries that can really help you, understand what your value proposition around AX R3 is. Secondly, make sure you've got the 10th of April held in your calendars, and that you start talking to your prospects and customers about that online experience event. And then thirdly, start integrating the Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3 activity into your marketing plans. So start building a timeline out so that you can plan out what content you'll push out and what activities you'll be doing around the release of R3. So that wraps up my presentation. Now let's hear from a real partner who will be telling us about how he'll be taking AX R3 to market. So I'm very excited to have Salim Farouk here from Hitachi Solutions, who's going to be talking to us about how Hitachi are approaching the AX R3 launch and how he'll be taking it to market. Thanks for joining us, Salim. Welcome.
Thank you, Emily. My name is Salim Farouk, and I'm part of the Hitachi Global Center of Excellence. My primary focus is around enabling and driving industry strategies around the globe for Hitachi.
Great. And would you mind, just for the audience who don't know Hitachi Solutions, just telling us a little bit about Hitachi and what you do?
Sure. So Hitachi Solutions is one of the global system integrators for Microsoft Dynamics. We have over 14,000 employees around the world and focus primarily on Microsoft technologies to enable businesses, drive more efficiencies around the use of technology. Throughout, we've been working with Dynamics for the past 11 years. We have over 850 different Microsoft Dynamics professionals focusing primarily on AX and CRM, and we focus on multiple industries, definitely driving a lot of consistency and experience to our customers. We have over 4,000 customers with Hitachi Solutions around the world, but primarily 300 plus customers on Dynamics so far in the past 11 years.
Wow, that's awesome. So this release of AX is a pretty big one for you at Hitachi.
It's definitely a great one, and definitely keeping the momentum with our existing clients as well as new prospect. The fact that we're continuing the innovation, Microsoft continues the investment behind the Microsoft Dynamics platform as well as the product.
How do you see the opportunity for Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012 R3?
So this is really an exciting time for Dynamics and us as partners for Microsoft. So over the past 3 years, so Microsoft has kept on innovating and delivering a lot of key capabilities with AX 2012, with R1, with our feature pack, with R2 and R3. So throughout the whole experience over the last 3 years, we kept the momentum going. We kept customers on their toes, to say the least, in terms of managing and looking for what's new with Microsoft every year. So what's kept us in a good momentum in the marketplace, and we've seen a lot of traction with our customers, whether it's upgrades, whether they're looking for new things to do, and new ways to actually enable technologies to do a better job.
That's awesome to hear. We're very excited about the innovation too. How are you approaching the applying the value proposition of AX R3 to Hitachi's own industry propositions?
So in Hitachi, we focus on 3 major industries today, right? We do manufacturing, we do distribution, and we do services in general. So with the R3 release and with the R2 release, we saw a lot of capabilities to enhance our value proposition and expand our addressable market in the current space. Even though Microsoft has been, throughout the experiences, building 5 key industries, we decided to focus on 3 of them. And with the new release of R3, distribution becomes an even bigger commitment for both Microsoft as well as us as a partner, and that will give us a bigger footprint to actually go after our customers and provide the key value proposition, key differentiation in that marketplace.
Brilliant. And so let's talk a bit about marketing. How are you going to use the new release in Hitachi's own marketing?
Sure. So with Microsoft Dynamics R3 and throughout the experience of Dynamics, or throughout our experience, we capitalize a lot on launches. Launches is a key driver and key momentum to actually enable us to, one, keep our customers focused on Dynamics, right? Yeah. Position a lot of messages, make sure that we're focusing from an investment perspective on their successes around that and keeping them loyal to us. So launches for us is a crucial aspect of how we do business, and upgrades and keeping our customers satisfied with the technology is also another thing. We have proven over the past several years with our customers that they are always on the cutting edge of technologies, and enabling them to actually capitalize on the new technologies with the new releases is also a great value proposition and great momentum that we see with them.
Great. So you'll have heard a little bit about the online experience event that we're going to be putting on the 10th of April. Will Hitachi be driving their customers and prospects to the online experience event, and will you be using syndication as a marketing opportunity as well?
Definitely. With the AX 2012 release, we actually did the same thing that you guys are proposing today, to actually syndicate the content and manage to drive customers to the event, to the virtual event through you guys, as well as enabling our customers to consistently get the message through our own content that we provided through the presence and the syndication content that you guys are providing throughout the experience, throughout the actual launch. That momentum continued, and we hope to continue that with the 2012 R3. Definitely giving it a different slant around our industry, our core value proposition and core messaging that we want to get to our clients and address 3 major areas within the business. One is around upgrade. The second is around abilities for the customers to enable a bit more technology and better use of Microsoft Dynamics AX within their existing install base, as well as approaching new prospects with different markets.
Great. And how will you drive your prospects and customers to the event? What approach will you take in terms of the marketing?
Viewing that the marketing is a bit changing in terms of the demographic and how people are approaching content. So customers are more mature and are looking for more content online before they actually come to you with the questions. So what we've proven to work with us is kind of create a multi-touch campaign that actually drive throughout a couple of months before leading to the event, with your help, kind of launching the product in the right way, and then continuing that momentum with a deeper dive around the different capabilities and different messages that we want to deliver to our clients with a level 200, level 300 webinars that actually will consistently drive the experience to the next level with the clients. And hopefully they will see value from the capabilities that we have and potentially create more business.
Fantastic. So I like that kind of a drip feeding approach, you know, as you go on with our content and your content. And in terms of content, you'll have seen what we're bringing out, what Microsoft is bringing out with the launch of R3 to our partners and our own sales field. What elements of that content will Hitachi be using?
Our view of the content that you guys provide are definitely very valuable, and that creates consistency across the ecosystem. So the more we capitalize on your content, the more we are able to be consistent, whether it's analysts, customers, or our ecosystem. From that perspective, we definitely going to utilize your messaging framework, capitalize on that, create a spin that actually focus on what Hitachi Solutions does best. Right, and from there on, take all the content that you have around the digital aspect, digital media, from videos and demos. That's definitely very helpful and very drive a lot of focus, because people are looking for that 1 minute snippet of content that is relevant to them. So that's kind of the key things that we're going to use. And on PR and analysts, we've proven that kind of influencers are very crucial and very key to enforcing the message. Yeah. So definitely all of that content will be reused in a much better way, and created definitely a Hitachi spin on all of that.
Fantastic, that's great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Salim, and talking about Hitachi's approach to the launch of R3. I really appreciate it.
Boom! This is epic stuff. I hope you are excited to get on the AX 2012 R3 train. I sure am. That wraps up the second half of our two-part Dynamics AX 2012 R3 training blitz. I hope that these sessions provided you useful insights into the power of the R3 offering, and we are excited by the many ways in which R3 lets you partner with your customers. Don't forget, you can watch this entire broadcast on demand for the next 60 days by simply logging in the same way you did today. And we'll also be making individual segments available via Partner Source and Learning Central, so watch your email for more info on these. In the meantime, we strongly encourage you to visit the R3 launch portal to see how to get ready for R3 and to continue the conversation in our AX-specific and broader Dynamics Yammer communities. We are honored that you spent your time with us today, and we look forward to seeing you and your customers at Convergence in Atlanta next week, and at other events around the globe as we roll out this exciting launch. Thank you. Let's make this an epic launch.